This is absolutely lovely. It's a little cosy up here,
Yeah.
but
I'm a little warm actually. I might take the big jacket.
yeah, it'll get a little bit warm later.
Jesus Christ. Van warm.
The van warmer.
You know what? That'll be alright.
Yeah, we should be all right.
Should have worn a belt, although this is kind of in the way of my crotch.
You can't get excited and jump around.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be very reserved.
It won't collapse.
Yeah,
I'm feeling a little bit nervous about peering over the edge.
yeah. It would just have to stand still and not be animated.
Be very, very quiet.
What happens halfway through though? Okay. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'll plan a hard for every chance I get, I will. 41 minutes.
Well, that's the end of the warm-up.
26 minutes still face.
The players going on.
Stu, you might have to be in charge of time checks.
Yeah, I will try my best.
That clock works the time.
No, not like time of day. I mean, like
Yeah, like
nobody cares about that.
No time in the game.
Oh, does it?
Scoreboard will do that. It just doesn't do penalty clocks.
Oh, okay. So why do we need for the penalty clock? Why do we need this much? This is like twice as much. I mean, either way though, right? I guess we'd have to be up on here, eh? So
yeah.
Will be liking 50-50 draw where you can take home.
huh?
Make the most of it.
I mean, it's another experience. To be fair though, you done Milton Keynes before. You done Milton Keynes?
I've been to Milton Keynes. Did you do Cardiff in the old Big Blue Tent?
No. Did you? Was it bad?
Yeah, because you were basically just above the players' bench,
Oh yeah, sure.
and you had no screen. There was no protection. Like you were in the firing line just as much as Brent Pope's hat. You know?
You were getting pucked basically.
Yeah. And Manchester's kind of out on an extremity by the box.
Sure.
So yeah, like it's not the plush surroundings
No.
of Nottingham or even Ice Arena Wales.
Because MK's is like dodgy scaffolding.
Yeah.
And then you stand on top essentially of one of the boxes a bit as well.
Do you remember when they did when Aaron Murphy came here years and years ago
Oh,
and did
yeah,
it
they did it on the-
on top
there.
of the top of there before they
Yes.
built the Sky Lounge, and he had to climb up by a ladder.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Watching Ben Olsen climb the ladder was funny.
Yeah, was that when he like had no thumb?
Yeah,
as well?
he was just like having to claw his way up.
Like some kind of reptile.
Yeah.
He's a lizard! Oh man, this is actually a lot more sensitive as a mic than I remember, eh?
This is what we have to do.
I'm tall at last.
We are the three tallest people.
Yeah.
I like it.
Courtney's just looked at
evening and a very warm welcome back to the Skydome Arena here in Coventry ahead of tonight's Elite League pre-season fixture between the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. I'm Ed Kimberley. Stu Coles joins me as always, and you're watching live here on Blaze TV. Stu, I think it goes without saying it's really good to be back.
Oh, it's wonderful to be back. Great to be in the Skydome again. Great to have hockey. Seeing the inflatable dragon, the entrance music going, just brings it all back. Really just excited to get this game underway.
Absolutely, and a little bit of a shorter programme than usual for most teams, unless you're the Cardiff Devils, of course, playing in the Champions League. Pre-season games, if that means plural, it means plural. A lot of the teams just playing like one game before the regular season / Challenge Cup kicks off at the weekend. But the Coventry Blaze, the home team, have done a pretty good job of retaining a successful core from last season. But to be fair, Stu, so have the visitors, the Manchester Storm.
Yeah, both teams have retained a very good core of players. You know, with the Blaze, they've got all of their British core back, and then some handful of key imports: Yanni Larkinen, Dylan Eidstad, Hamanich. There's a great core there. But likewise, Manchester have done the same. They've recruited well. They've got a lot of young Brits that they've brought into their lineup, but also as well, they've got a smattering of imports from around the league. They've recruited a couple of players from Belfast who had a pretty impressive season back in 2019-20, if you remember it.
Yeah, Jordan Smotherman wasn't one of them. But no, let's just talk about both teams as well a little bit, Stu. In that they played in the mini-series about 6 months ago. There's going to be a lot of rust to kick off. Not everybody was lucky enough to find a team last season proper. So the first couple of games of pre-season, I think probably the first few weeks of the regular season, there's going to be a lot of kicking the rust off.
There's going to be a lot of kicking the rust off. There's going to be a lot of trying to find chemistry between your lines, understanding who can do what and where. You know, this is the first game. This is the first game for both teams. It's the first time really that Danny's had a chance to see them in any sort of action. And probably more importantly, the players haven't got a chance to learn each other.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, it's been a weird summer as well, depending on what province, what state, what county that you live in, has really depended on what access to ice that you've got. So, this is going to be a really interesting few weeks for everybody involved. And usually teams like Nottingham, Belfast like to get their teams in a little earlier, but they've been in about the same time as the Blaze and the Storm. We're just going to pause for the national anthem, and then we'll be bringing you some team news and tonight's main event. Welcome to the Skydome Arena here in Coventry ahead of tonight's pre-season fixture between the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. It's Ed Kimberley and Stu Coles warmly welcoming you back into life in Elite League hockey. Stu, let's go straight through to the team news, shall we?
Yeah, for the team news this evening, the Coventry Blaze, number 8 Joey Ratz and number 9 Ryan Penny do not ice tonight. They add number 24 Nathan Ripley, who has been playing in the Sheffield Steel Dogs organisation in the NIHL. Otherwise, everyone else is in the team this evening. Austin Mitchell-King and Sam Russell are included on two-way contracts. For the Manchester Storm, they are without Wade McLeod, Frankie Melton and Matt Ginn this evening. James Downey is getting the start in net. Nick Trapans will be backing him up this evening.
Yeah, Nick Trapans of the Blackburn Hawks as well. We talked about him earlier, having played some of his earlier career in Lee Valley. That's a bit of a blast from the past with the old London Racers playing out of that rink, but back a little bit closer to home, just a couple of moments away from the first puck drop at the Skydome Arena involving the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze in far too long. Tom Perring and Joe Sewell are your referees, with Ryan Fraley and Rob Fuller on the lines. And I didn't sleep last night, Stu. I've been so excited for this.
Absolutely ready to go.
We get underway, and Justin Hamanich, a familiar feature, paired with Nate Halbert, who was born and spent a couple of the early years of his life just up the road in Nottingham. They exchange passes with Luke Ferrara. Puck dumped in, far side. Ferrara will chase. Shot comes in from Thompson, right into the belly of Downey. Blaze register the first shot, and the Manchester Storm try to break up ice. Cut off by Justin Hamannik. Looking sharp, having played last season in the Tulsa Oilers organization. The 2021 season, that is. It's going to be fun to not mix those up, Stu, as Evan Bludoff will take the puck across the line. A familiar feature in the Elite League. Drives to the front, and a chance that came out for Marsh. He was unable to get stick on puck, and the Blaze take it out into the neutral zone. Good couple of shifts early for Coventry. Blaze able to clear the zone through Russell. Marsh drifting behind the net, and he will start up ice. Alec Marsh backhands it in behind. Sullivan tries to find Springer. He tussles with Alex Forbes as Simmons gets bumped by Russell, and Bludoff will try and keep that puck away from the forechecking forward. And it was Fawcett. Puck chipped in for Johnny Curran to chase. Bumps Sullivan. Puck in there with Van Warmer, who comes out with the puck, Jared Van Warmer. David Brawl lands a big open ice hit to open this game on Gulliver, and that one's dumped in. Nice to see that David Brawl hasn't skipped a beat here, Stu, straight into the physical play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing you come to expect from David Brawl is physical play on every shift. He's going to find a body somewhere.
Van Warmer tries to get that one through to the top of the slot. Pass went astray, and there's going to be a foot race here. Puck pinned up against the backboards, and Manchester are able to wrench this one clear. David Clements had his first call up to Great Britain Seniors in the most recent World Championships, and did himself proud still. I thought he had a really good tournament, stood out and showed that he belonged at that level.
Certainly got a good amount of minutes as well in the games that he was able to play, playing in most of the games as well for Great Britain in that tournament. And I think he just grew from the Elite Series. He got given extra responsibility with the reduced number of imports in that mini tournament, and kind of took that confidence on and really excelled. And I think he's definitely solidified himself now as, you know, one of the top 6 British defensemen in the country.
Yep, as Adam Brady wins that face-off, Solder will shoot one through a crowd. Also appeared in that mini-series, got a lot of ice time, and one of a plethora of young Brits that Ryan Finnerty has handed long contracts to, 3 years. As Yanni Larkin on the forecheck picks this puck up. Larkin circling behind the net, a weak pass, trying to find Hamannik at the point, and will be picked up by Hamilton in his feet. Blaze and Storm battling for it. Hamilton familiar with the Elite League, as Halbert's going to try and go here, but lost his footing. He's able to dump it in. Springer gets poke checked. Will bump on the backboards on Thompson. Ferrara. Manchester able to come away with this puck up ice. Will bump on Morgan. Another little hit into the boards on Sullivan as he tries to join the rush to help out. Puck juggled all in front of CJ Mott, who's yet to feel the puck on those new pads as Evan Bludoff races away, shoots. Oh, a nice save off the arm of Downey, and a little bump on the netminder as a collision with Sullivan. And I didn't see who that was on the forecheck there, Stu, but another good save from Downey.
Yeah, another good save as well. Kind of 2-on-1 opportunity here. We see the Blaze come down. Bludoff looks, the pass is pretty well covered, so he takes the shot there, and I still can't quite make out exactly who that is, ending up into Downey as the netminder.
He's had a very interesting career, the youngster Downey. He was born in Fife, played some junior hockey there, emigrated to Australia at a young age, and ended up playing in various North American leagues. So be good to see him here, and he's getting a bit of a spotlight as there's going to be a penalty called on that play. A little reach in for the puck by the Blaze man, and it's going to be the first power play of the evening for the Manchester Storm. Alex Forbes looks like he's making his way to the penalty box too.
Yeah, Downey played in a Tier 3 league in the United States in 2019-20, and he did all right in that level. So goals against a 2.38, save percentage of 91.9. So he's a guy who started, got a few shutouts. So it's difficult to say, you know, there's so little known about sort of the Tier 3 junior hockey in the United States, but you know, he's obviously. obviously come in and impress Ryan Finnerty to get a spot on the Storm.
Yeah, I was just kind of flicking through that league to get a bit of information about it. And you do see some guys end up in the NCAA, so there are some top-level juniors, in that league. So Downey certainly, as you said, Stu, putting up stats to warrant that he was one of the better netminders at that level. So yeah, great for him to get some ice time here. And Manchester have had some great backups over the most recent years as they bring the puck across the line. First save of the night made by CJ Mott. The rebound sent into the corner. Evan Bludoff short-handed with Marsh heading to the net front off the pad of Downey and dispatched nicely to the half wall. Here's Hamilton, space to shoot, but the puck is brought in offside, and the Coventry Blaze will enjoy a whistle and a face-off outside the zone. Stu, I can't see the clock here today. What have we got on the time?
So it's 15 minutes 51 left. Just a small note to the viewers. We can't do a power play clock this evening because the scoreboard in the Sky Dome isn't working, so we have no idea what the scoreboard should read because the scoreboard is actually right in front of us, facing away from us. Yeah,
for scale, if you've been to the Sky Dome Arena, it's about as tall as a tier and a half up here in the media gallery. Pretty big, as Lyndon Spring is going to take that one behind the net. A breakout pass, touched along the line to the right wing. A bump comes in from Johnny Curran in the SPHL with Knoxville. Had a good time of it there, featured in the East Coast with Wichita a little bit too. Would have been a very strange 18 months or so to be a professional hockey player. Here's Critchlow off the skates of Fawcett coming in down the right-hand side. He gets bumped by Halbert. Puck ends up at the point. Wing to wing as McNulty, the tall figure of McNulty, steps in into the glove of CJ Mott as the first real look on goal for the Manchester Storm, snapped up by CJ Mott.
Yeah, CJ Mott comes round, gets a good angle on that shot as well, gets in his glove and makes a really good save. Nice to see Halbert playing physical as well on the penalty kill. He's a big body, and has got some AHL experience as well with him, having played some time with the Laval Rocket.
Yeah, he was at McGill as well with Ryan Penny. When we spoke to Penny a couple of weeks ago, he talked about that was something you can expect from Halbert, as puck played across the crease and not quite collected by the left winger, as Hazeldine will throw it through the crease as well from the point, bobbling around as Manchester Storm are in the zone here. Finley Ulrich cycling along the wing there with Gulliver. Shot comes in from a bad angle as the Blaze are back to full strength. And Coventry will chop it clear. Ferrara, Forbes, straight out of the box. Good poke check that comes in from Wilson. All that experience on show there. He captained Kalamazoo in the East Coast for a whole bunch of seasons. Played in the Erste Liga last year in Romania with Corona Brasov. Real big signing for the Storm. Poke check comes in neutralized by Ripley, making his first shift of the night. There'll be a little bit of focus on Stu Austin Mitchell-King and Sam Russell, who made some appearances in the Elite League mini-series as puck comes down the line with Brady, picked off by the aforementioned Sam Russell. And Coventry will just about get this into the neutral zone. Solder dumped in, he picked up by Eichstad. Through the feet of the forward on the forecheck, Liam Morgan, who went to Penn State, ended up in Belfast and now Manchester. Alec Marsh of the Coventry Blaze went to Penn as well, hockey being a very small world. David Brohl bumped into the corner, tried to play it back to the point, but looks like the defenseman was on a change, or was that Curran, excuse me, trying to avoid a too many men penalty. Hard pass finds Brohl. You might see David Brohl try and skate this here, puts on a bit of speed, drops it off for Marsh and heads to the net front. Picked up by Halbert, tries to go through the feet, he does of his man and shovels it looking for a backdoor play, but that's going to expose Coventry at the back, 3-on-1 here. Chance comes in, shot into the belly of Mott, and he will hang on. As I think the eyes of Van Wormer lit up there, Stu. He was just unable to find the back of the net.
Yeah, just unable to get it there. What we see here as well, you see Halbert chasing back all that way. See the amount of ground that he's made up, and there he is, making sure that the stick is tied up for that pass across right at the end.
Yeah, excuse me, it was Curtis Hamilton as Van Wormer takes his place on the left wing of this line with Critchlow and Harry Gulliver. And the Blaze out there with the Thompson line as Matt Thompson had some success in the Indy Fuel organisation, played a couple of seasons there, did very well, and making his first trip to Europe as a puck picked up by Jani Laakkonen, trying to keep this one away from the defenseman. Hard work from Wilson. Here is Gulliver. The right-handed shot being muscled out of play by Halbert as he takes a seat in the corner. Loose puck at the half wall. Blaze will shovel it out. Ferrara. Jani Laakkonen. Might go himself here. Jani Laakkonen flashes it wide. Puck ends up in the corner. I think, Stu, if there was one criticism, and it's hard to criticise Jani Laakkonen in the mini-series, was that he probably could have been a little bit more selfish at times and shoot the puck a little more.
Absolutely. He's got a good shot on him. He does tend to look for pass first because that's his kind of game as a kind of playmaking forward. But he really did have the opportunity to perhaps score a few more than he did.
Yeah, I believe his only goal of the series came on a 5-on-3 as that puck backhanded in by McNulty. Oh, a weird bounce off the boards, and that one ends up back behind CJ Mott's net. And the Blaze will shovel this up to Forbes. Good play there by David Clements, shielding that puck away from two forecheckers. There's Bludoff. Backhand to the point, shot down low, big tip down. He makes a nice save as Alex Forbes got a big chunk of it to redirect that one low high. And Hamilton will be stripped of possession by Curran. Venus can't bring in that pass, sold it. Impressed in the mini-series as Eichstadt's going to have to try and chase this one with Morgan. He'll get there first. And the Blaze will get this one clear. Venus skates into the back of Bludoff. I'm not sure he was expecting that, Evan Bludoff, but that's the game. Eichstadt gently perusing around the back of CJ Mott's net. He's got Sam Russell breaking out in support. Puck ahead of David Brohl. Somehow Venus ends up back with it. And the Manchester Storm capitalise on that broken play. Eichstadt steps up, throws a little bump on Simmons, who scored a game winner in the mini-series against the Blaze on single overtime. Nice wrist shot, if I remember it rightly, Stu, right up in the top corner. In a game that the Blaze had fought hard to get back into.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about game 6 months ago, eh?
Yeah, we're talking about game 6 months ago. That seems a long time ago, even those games in Nottingham. A couple of mentions on Twitter. You can get in touch with us at Blaze TV Live. Hi to the Caldwells who are watching again. Great to see the Blaze come through the Dragon and hear the entry music. Nice to have you with us, Pauline and Malcolm as well. And hello to Joseph Clay. It's your bedtime. You've seen Evan Bludoff. Now you can go to bed.
Yeah, Mark Treadgold's dropped me a little message from Dallas, Texas, in the US of A, home of the Stars. Big hello to you, Mark, and hope you're having a good time as the Blaze are breaking across here, trying to have a good time. A shot just wide of the target. Downey looked like he had his angles pretty smartly covered there. It's Marsh, pirouettes off his man. Throws one up looking for Halbert. Dumps it in. Hey, the Coventry accents do for me with Halbert's going to have me really focusing on getting the T at the end of his name.
Yeah,
you don't have this problem.
I'm going to have problems being from Hampshire, so Halbert rather than Albert.
I gotcha. It's Halbert. We'll take that one into the corner. Hey, if anything else, it's an elocution lesson. Scrappy play in the neutral zone as will be picked up by Ripley. Nothing alien to him about this game as he coasts wide. Oh, he got hit hard by Wilson, stamping his authority on the youngster. And a broken stick on that play too as the puck's feathered in. Hit comes in from Gibson. Another hit comes in on the backboards as the Coventry Blaze responding to that Ben Wilson check on this shift. David Clements now with possession. Hard pass, kind of I think was intended for Larkin and came off one of his line mates instead. And put behind the goal line. Gibson shoots through traffic off a skate on its way through. And Liam Morgan will try and get this one out. Mark McNulty the option. I think by some considerable distance here, Stu, the biggest player on the Manchester Storm roster. Here's Russell. Plays breakout through the centre. Yanni Larkin, a little cute drop pass, trying to find Venus a little bit too fancy, and Manchester strip it away. They'll bring it up ice with Ulrich off the skate of Eichstad. In the new restricted zone behind CJ Motta, a new feature, the what they call the trapezoid. I hate the word, but that's the official word for it. So,
well, it is its geometric shape, so.
Yeah, I know, but it just sounds a bit too Americanized, you know? Anyway, puck ends up in front of the net. David Brohl stretching, trying to reach that pass, and it's bumped up by Lyndon Springer. Manchester bring it up ice, force it. Really choppy game, Stu. It has ended up being fairly end-to-end. Neither team really showing early fluidity, but I think, you know, we were saying in the pre-game and early on, this is pretty much what you're going to expect here.
I can't say that I was expecting anything else. It's going to be a bit scrappy between the two teams. They're going to be getting themselves going again after so much time off.
Yep, Alec Marsh will dump that one in. Not a lot of breaks in play either so far. Long stretch pass picked off. Evan Bludoff got a piece of it. Also comes off of Halber to has a spin to get back into position. Bludoff off a skate of Critchlow. Played a little bit of hockey in 2021 with Jacksonville in the East Coast. Put past behind Alex Forbes, who gets bumped to the ice as well. Lutwich. Bludoff will throw a little bump on him. Mock keeps play alive. And the puck does end up in the neutral zone. Alec Marsh playing without a stick as he lost it. Throwing the old body in there. Brady, stick lifted by Hamonic. Got to say, Hamonic looking sharp here, Stu.
Yeah, Hamonic looking very sharp. He always was very dependable in the last year when he was with us, and I think he's was one of the key players that Danny really wanted to bring back for this season.
If you had to choose a player on the Blaze roster that was underrated, I think it would probably be Justin Hamonic.
100%.
As Blaze will bring this puck up ice. Bludoff ends up with Thompson. Hard pass, Ferrara with a chance. He shoots off the blocker of the netminder Downey. Well, you really don't want to give Luke Ferrara a lot of time and space. As scored for Great Britain. He was the leading goal scorer for the Coventry Blaze in the Elite League and led the Elite League as a whole. And has now scored in the Polish League and the French League to add to his resume. Not bad for a boy from Peterborough, as puck ends up at the blue line with Thompson. Tries the give and go with Yanni Larkin. Puck ends up getting broken up, and CJ Mott will pick this one up with Dylan Eichstad.
It was a nice stop by Downey.
Yeah.
Got his blocker up well to cover the angle.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You know, he took the angle nicely. He had a little bit of screen in front of him. He was in the right place, was able to react and got the job done, as he's able to keep this puck alive in the offensive zone through Eichstad, but not entirely sure for how long, as Manchester will break it out. All through the feet by Ulrich, a little bump by Russell. One of the Storm forwards headed to the net front area. I think that was Fawcett, but before they could get the puck to him, the Blaze have got it up ice. Here's Venus as well to keep it away from Solder and Ulrich. David Brohl with a little pirouette. Found Curran. But a broken play means the Manchester Storm are going to bring this puck back up ice, fling it into the corner, and they'll chase that. Stu, I can't see the clock, buddy. Can we get a time check?
Yeah, 4:42 in the first period.
4:42 remaining in the first, as Halbert tries to skate through the man as Wilson held his ground. I think Manchester Storm fans are really going to like Ben Wilson.
Yeah,
that kind of player. One's dumped in, it ends up with Gulliver, sends it to the slot, and Blaze able to just marshal it out of danger. Bludoff's going to skate with Marsh here. There's a whistle for an offside, and we'll take a little break in play at Blaze TV Live on Twitter if you do want to get in touch.
We've kind of mentioned about one of the rule changes, the trapezoid, this evening already.
Yeah.
Goalies have to play the puck inside the trapezoid if they're behind the goal line. If they're to the side, then they can't play it at all. And it will be, I believe, it's a 2-minute delay of game minor penalty for it.
Yep.
We would be able to confirm this, but the commentators' meeting for discussing the rule changes was 7:30 this evening.
Yeah, well, I did reply I think we replied at the same time, didn't we?
We did, like twins.
Yeah. We are both unavailable. RSVP no as a foot race ensues. Downey, the empty net gaping for Bludoff as Downey came out to poke check it. And Evan Bludoff fired into the side of the net on a broken play. Well, the Blaze with the biggest clear-cut chance of the night, and we'll put that one down to Rust, Stu.
Yeah, definitely Rusty there.
Puck ends up in the corner, and the Manchester Storm breathe a sigh of relief. Austin Mitchell-King is going to have a chance to get into the zone here. Toe drags around his man, and he scores! A wonderful first goal in Blaze colours for Austin Mitchell-King. Bludoff misses the empty netter at the previous shift. And Austin Mitchell-King with a toe drag finds the twine. That's not a bad goal to kick off things in this season, Stu.
If you're on a two-way contract and you're looking to impress the coach, that's the best way about doing it. Takes the puck, carries it over the blue line, just a bit of a toe drag, and then just flicks it past. Lovely release on the wrist shot right in the deep slot area. Great goal to make it 1-0 to the Coventry Blaze.
Yeah, I had a little look down on the bench there. Ethan Kane, the equipment manager, takes the puck off of David Clements. That one's going to have some white stick tape and a little bit of Sharpie marker on it in a few minutes' time, and that'll be one to treasure for Austin Mitchell-King, the youngster from Coventry. Played his junior hockey here, and hey, I think that might be Stu. I've got an inkling, one of many to come. We get ourselves back underway. Here is Simmons fighting for it on the half wall. In come the Storm, shot short side off the glove of CJ Martin, I think into the netting, although judging by the referees and linesmen, they might have said that one went straight out there. And this is the thing with Austin Mitchell-King, right, Stu? You know, you don't get a lot of British players that come through with a 6'3" frame. He's got a little bit of filling out to do, but he can skate. Clearly, he's got a great pair of hands on him.
Got a great pair of hands on him, and he isn't afraid of mixing it up as well. He will play that sort of physical big body game as well. So there's a lot of great potential for the young man.
Yeah, some close eyes will be put on him in Telford on his two-way there. But, you know, for guys like Mitchell-King, for Sam Russell, you know, while the likes of Penny and Rats and I think the Blaze are one signing short too, while they come into the country and get announced, they're going to get some ice.
Yeah, they're going to get the ice time, and you know, if they make the most of it, who knows what will happen.
Oh, Yanni Larkinen finds Thompson in front. What'll happen here? Oh, a chance from Ferrara. I think he might have fanned it. Russell will throw one through traffic that ends up eluding everybody. As Yanni Larkinen and Matt Thompson getting to know each other. Here's Russell. At the point, flicks one through, blocked by... I think that was Critchlow, who's ended up marching north with it. Shoots the lefty off the blocker of CJ Mott, and the Blaze will see this one into the neutral zone. Thompson shielding Wilson away from the puck. He gets bumped by two Storm players, Mark McNulty and Jacob Lutwich. Hamming it, D2D pass off the stick of Broll. Johnny Curran. Puck ends up in the corner. Hamannik on the failed clearance attempt, passes it down low. Curran, stick handling in the corner. Gets to the top, throws one through a crowd, and Downey's got a hold of it. He'll hang on for a whistle. Clever shot from Johnny Curran. Played a little bit of hockey in 2021 in Knoxville, as we mentioned earlier. Played in the USA-Canada Charity Series, which featured Kevin Noble, Ryan Penny, and a couple of other familiar faces to the Elite Leagues too. Yeah,
and again, a little bit of a chance to get some ice before coming over to the UK. All of that ice time valuable, and you know, even just meeting a new teammate for the first time, hugely important.
Expanding the network. You never know when you're going to need to slide into your coach's WhatsApp messages and say, hey, I've been talking to a guy that I played with last year. He wants to come to Coventry. You know, and in the case of Ryan Penny, I think it's like 180 points he's got in the East Coast, something like that, bunch of American League call-ups. And it worked out okay. There's David Broll, stick handling through a crowd. Not with the biggest amount of movement, just kind of using his body to, as Aaron Murphy likes to call it, A-frame, and keep that puck safe from the forecheckers as Dallas Earhart moves this one along. Morgan. Gibson will step inside. Puck comes off the skate of Curran. Give and go with Venus. Bludoff manages to play it across the blue line, but Gibson will have to take that one out as he kept a careful eye on it. Clements dumps that one in.
1 minute remaining in the first.
Sullivan keeps it alive. 1 minute remaining in the first period. Blaze 1, Storm nothing. Marsh can't get that one going behind Springer. Simmons over to Fawcett. Gibson, he got a bit of a leg-on-leg collision, but play will continue with no penalty on that one. Tyson Fawcett in his second season with the Manchester Storm. Hit comes in from Springer on Forbes. Marsh trying to dig away at that puck off Lyndon Springer as it's dumped in off the backboards. and we'll have a whistle and an icing against the Manchester Storm. A year away with the clan, Lyndon Springer back in Manchester, and a real old-timey defenseman, isn't he? But he can do a little bit of everything. Surprisingly, he's had some success when Ryan Finnerty's used him on the power play in previous years.
Yeah, he certainly has been able to contribute on the back end. Got 17 points in the last full season of the Elite League, which for what is a man who is ostensibly a stay-at-home guy, that's a decent contribution.
Yep, absolutely. As Sam Russell fight to keep this one alive as the offensive draw win for the Blaze. Shot from Ferrara into the tummy of Downey, and I got to say, Stu, Downey's really impressed me so far.
Downey has impressed me. In fact, we've actually had a tweet in relating to Downey this evening. Darren Evans has got in touch with us and said Downey's father is in fact Colin Downey, ex-Flyers, Trafford Metros, and was on the first Manchester Storm team at the 9X Arena. So nice. Like father, like son.
When was Colin Downey playing for Fife? Would he have come down here in the old BNL days? Because those were some fun Fife Flyers teams.
I can't remember. He may well have done.
Were you watching back then?
Yeah,
He had 10 or 12 guys in kilts. The only 10 or 12 Fife fans that came down doing a conga line around the ring. Yeah. That was the best.
Yeah, I mean, we are. It's 20 years ago and a fair few beers since then.
Yep. Scott Young, do you remember him with the big old ginger beard, number 4? Man, there were some characters in the.
Some good sides though. The Fife. Jonathan Weaver was in that team back then as well. So
yeah. Stephen Murphy started his career.
Yeah, he was in and around Dundee as well. That sort of.
Yep. With 13 seconds remaining in the period, Blaze unable to win the offensive zone draw, but getting on the forecheck. Yanni Larkinen gets upended by Critchlow. Puck comes at the ice, a hard shot off the blocker of Mott just as the buzzer goes, and that'll be all she wrote for the first 20 minutes back at the Sky Dome Arena in 21-22. I'm losing track, Stu, with that whole gap year.
Yeah, I mean, only our gap year wasn't fun.
No, well, we had 4 weeks of good entertainment.
And it's back already, and what a great 20 minutes it's been. It's been a bit rough and a bumpy in terms of the hockey, but it's been nice to see the guys out on the ice stretch their legs, and 20 minutes gone, nobody's made any really big mistakes.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's been a couple on either side. Like you can see the rest. I think the decision making by Downey to try and go and poke that puck free was probably, in retrospect, a poor one. Bludoff should have scored, but look, apart from that, they were able to ebb and flow with the Blaze in this game. They look like these two teams are going to match up really nicely as the season progresses. And my first impressions, I don't know what yours are, Stu, of the Manchester Storm team, are that they're going to be very competitive this year and a very Ryan Finnerty Storm.
Yeah, Ryan Finnerty's got his kind of blueprint of the guys that he wants. He wants them to be quick. He wants them to break well. He wants big bodies on the team, and there's a lot of that in that roster, and they'll look to do well. And I think it's been a close game. The one goal that separates the two sides was a moment of skill from young Mitchell King.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as the Elite League's progressed and become less wide open, shall we say, you get the odd goal like that, which get the highlight reels going. But a lot of the time it is, in the odd mistake here and there, and a lot of the goals, you can tell what's occurred.
Yeah,
and that was just a really nice bit of individual play. But let's just talk about a couple of players before we take a little break here, Stu. We've had 6 months with nothing off. We've got to get ourselves warmed up here. I want to talk about Joe Hazeldine, because how good was he in the mini-series? He ate up the ice time. He had some good offensive numbers. He looked like he's going to be a stud for the future. Yeah,
someone who probably wasn't getting the opportunity that they deserved or needed in Nottingham Panthers organisation. Looked to have made the move to Manchester in that gap.
Yep.
And played for the Storm during the Elite Series and was brilliant. And there were people discussing should he be in the GB squad. He played that well in that tournament. And Ryan Finnerty clearly is saying, well, this is someone who we want to build our defence around, young British guy. Let's get him in. Let's keep him in the organisation. Let's give him the ice time, because he showed he had some good time and some good minutes in Peterborough when he was down in the NIHL, and could have done more. Nottingham, difficult organisation to crack into. Lots of defensemen imports in that team.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
This is the thing, right? If you you come up and you get signed by a team that, like you said, Nottingham, Sheffield, Cardiff, the big boys who run 4 lines, they carry a couple of spares too, right? getting the ice time is so tough. So you look at people like Liam Kirk. Obviously, Liam's doing a great job. He's in the Arizona Coyotes camp as we speak. Alex Graham, another one, came through the Sheffield Steelers organization, got picked up by Niagara in the Ontario League. Next couple of years, who knows what he's going to do? He might end up following in the footsteps of Kirky, and there will be others.
There will be others. Young guys need the ice time. You've got to play them.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that they're able to contribute, like Mitchell King this evening. You give them the ice time and they will flourish. It's difficult though in the Elite League because with the structure that we have here, every game matters. So it's difficult to say, you know what, we're gonna play a game where we blood our young guys. We have maybe we have a 2, 3, 4 game stretch where we want to introduce some guys in North America where they can perhaps do that, or towards the end of the season where maybe they're not quite making the playoffs. You can't do that in the Elite League.
No, for sure. I mean, we were talking to some of the guys about this, in the Blaze TV podcast that we've been running over the last couple of summers, and we were explaining to them that there isn't, you come out the East Coast, right? Okay, there isn't really an SPHL feeder league up into. You come out the American League. There isn't really an East Coast. You got a couple of guys like Ripley tonight who's come out of the NIHL, and we immediately said, okay, he plays in the Steel Dogs. That's with no disrespect to some of the other organisations in the NIHL. One of the better ones, and one of the more established ones that kind of came out of the EPL before that folded. But there's not that middle ground, is there? Anyway, Stu, we've rambled on long enough. Let's take a 10-minute break or so, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so for the start of the second period in tonight's Elite League pre-season game between the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. And a very warm welcome back to the Skydome Arena here in Coventry ahead of the second period in tonight's Elite League pre-season fixture between the Genshin Casino, Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. 1-0 after the first 20 minutes in favour of the home team. Austin Mitchell-King with a lovely toe drag finish on Downey, and Ed Kimberley and Stu Coles bringing you all of the action from the rest of tonight's game. The Sky Blues playing tonight at the Coventry Building Society Arena here in Coventry. They're also winning 1-0. Big shout out to the Sky Blues, and a big thank you for having me on Saturday to fill in for our very own JD. The match now announcing, a lot of fun, but back in our home territory, as it were, Stu, as Nate Halbert will pick that one up and fling it north, and I'll be chased by Earhart and Ferrara. And Luke Ferrara had a good couple of looks in that first period there, Stu. A couple of shots, good saves from James Downey.
Yeah, really, really good opportunities there from Luke Ferrara, but two good blocker saves there from Downey that kept him out.
That one comes off the stick of Halbert as he prevented that one from ending up in the corner, but under some pressure, the Blazer have to try and keep this away from Hamilton. I think they have to keep this away from Morgan. Nice forecheck from the Storm. Brady in there too, gives a bump to Yanni Larkin, and puck comes out. Thompson just unable to pull that one in. It was kind of behind him. Whose puck comes through the feet of Springer. Ferrara keeping it away from Sullivan. Fighting hard for that one, Zach Sullivan, as Yanni Larkin takes a tumble. That'll give the Manchester Storm a chance to come up high. Springer bringing it in on his backhand. Tries to flick one cutely through CJ Mott. He's able to react and flick a pad at it. Springer diving, trying to keep that one alive in the offensive zone for the Storm. Succeeds. Good play from the burly defenseman as Marsh gets checked by Springer as he tried to take the long way round, and Springer stood his ground. CJ Mott will bring this one in behind the net, or at least provides a screen as Simmons came in on the forecheck off the skate of Alec Marsh. Puck comes to the point. Flick through traffic, a big redirection, and CJ Mott will hang on to that one, and we'll have a stoppage here in the second period. 18:23 remaining. And Stu, what's your thoughts on the first couple of shifts?
Yeah, more of the same, really. A little bit of a scrappiness from both teams. Bit of a redirection there. CJ Mott tracked the puck well to make sure that he was able to get the glove over the top of it, not let anything come out for a rebound, which in these sorts of games are one of the main ways where you're likely to get a few goals.
Face-off in the offensive zone, won by the Storm. Spinorama from Mark McNulty. We mentioned the Sky Blues earlier. They used to have a striker called Mark McNulty, which was a little bit amusing during the off-season when his signing was announced. The big defenseman. It was a bit of a battle with Tyson Fawcett and Dane Gibson. Johnny Curran has to pull up as David Brohl had meandered his way in offside. David Clements neutral ice. Big stick lift from Simmons. Manchester looking to freshen up here, so the Blaze will take that puck away, and Clements finds Curran. Curran still going here, although the puck does come away as he couldn't find a pass. Gulliver on the forecheck. Critchlow shoots into the glove of CJ Mott, and he will hang on. And Stu, I mean, I think it pretty much goes without saying, CJ Mott was a real coup signing for the Coventry Blaze. Intended to come back for 1920, and then honoured that and came back for this season.
Yeah, it was due to come back for last year, but obviously wasn't able to make it, and instead managed to make sure that we is re-signed this year. Had some time in the AHL during last season, which was got a few games as part of the Islanders organisation playing in Bridgeport.
Thank you, Stu. Offensive zone face-off for the Manchester Storm. Critchlow's going to stand over this with Marsh. Warning for Alec Marsh, who I think was leaning back on the old rules there to vacate the dot, but he'll have another go at it. Won by the Storm. Gulliver with a big old rap of the lumber on the defenseman. Puck comes in. Blocked on the way through. Halbert will send that ahead of Marsh, who's mixing it up. Chips it in behind the defenseman. Gets crushed into the backboards, Alec Marsh. Bit of a roughy-tufty shift for him. Halbert will keep that one alive, but only stays in the hands of Dallas Earhart. He gets checked by Alec Marsh. Wanting to give one back there. There'll be a whistle for icing as well. I didn't hear the whistle there, Stu. A bit of a soft one from the linesman.
Yeah, a bit of a soft one. Saw the arms go up, but I wondered if they just decided to wave it out. But no, the whistle's gone, and the Blaze will get a change, and the Storm will have to wait a few moments before they can get some fresh bodies on the ice.
Yep. And face-off will come to the left of Downey. Larkin on the left wing of Thompson. On the right-hand side, there's Luke Ferrara. 2/3 of that successful partnership as a loose puck comes out. Thompson off the iron. Ferrara on the loose puck comes off the defenseman in front. Earhart took a big block on that second effort as the Coventry Blaze nearly doubled their money. Here's Eichstad. Stick handles, gets the hash marks under duress, and Thompson spinning. Has a couple of options, including Ferrara. Couldn't get it to him. Eichstad will stand his ground. Retains possession. Thompson for Ferrara. Drop off for Eichstad. Blaze starting a cycle here at the top of the circle. Jani Larkinen drops it off. One-timer from Thompson, low off the frame of the net. Puck still there. Thompson won his. Jani Larkinen looking out for Ferrara. He shoots! And it goes up into the netting. There's a little bit of repair work there in the back of that net, Stu, that's behind James Downey. And I thought for a split second that was the puck and that Luke Ferrara had buried one, but it ends up in the netting.
It really did look like it had gone in for a moment, but the referee's right there on the goal line, gets a good look at it to make sure that it didn't actually go in, and it's a face-off in the Coventry Blaze offensive zone.
Face-off to the right of Downey. Won by the Storm. They've been good in the face-off dot, particularly in this second period here. A couple of offensive zone draw wins as Evan Bludoff will skip through Springer. Oh, the puck just got ahead of him. Bump comes in on the backboards. Loose out in front. Alex Forbes tries the little snapshot one-timer there. Wasn't able to get it through the defenseman, I don't think, as Gibson and Hamilton into the corner. Puck gets behind Springer. Forbes is going to spring into action. Poke checked by Hazeldine, and Gibson gets checked hard by Morgan. Puck still bobbling around there on the backboards. Gibson involved. Manchester able to stand their ground and bring this up ice. Liam Morgan will dump it in. CJ Mott leaves that one behind the net. Here's Gibson. It's checked hard into the boards. Little spinner armour from Marsh. Drops the shoulder to shield that one away from McNulty. Out in front, Bludoff scores! A clever little play from Alec Marsh. Posted up for Evan Bludoff, and he dunks it on the back door. And the Coventry Blaze have two, and Evan Bludoff, I think he's deserved that one after the miss in the first period there, Stu.
Yeah, deserved that one. Lovely little pass there. Just flicking it back to the near side for Bludoff to tap it in. Downey obviously pulling around, moving away from that post just because he's worried about the wraparound at that point. Just comes off that post enough for Bludoff to slip it into the net.
And Coventry Blaze will lead this game 2-0.
Goal number 2 for the Genting Casino.
These two teams will play again in a pre-season game next Wednesday up in Manchester.
Scored by Evan Bludoff. That's number 10.
As the Manchester Storm will bring this up by Simmons ahead of Lutwich. Nice little physical play there by Jacob Lutwich as Hamonic then gets hit by Simmons, having to roll with the punches. Justin Hamonic. There's David Broll. Lovely little feed through the neutral zone. Venus shielding off his man, and there's going to be a penalty on that play as Venus caught some stick, although David Broll will shoot, and on a delayed penalty chance, Downey makes the save, but Ross Venus does well to hold on to the puck and draw a hooking minor, and that looks like McNulty's going to head to the penalty box.
Probably one of the easiest hooking minors that will ever be called in the history of the Skydome. The stick was right in the waist, absolutely wedged around the equipment there. Second goal for the Coventry Blaze, scored by number 10, Evan Bludoff, assisted by number 23, Alec Marsh, and number 22, Justin Hamonic.
Yep. Face-off will come to the left of Downey. The Coventry Blaze get themselves a power play. Thompson standing over this one, gets a stick up in the face, and he'll head to the bench for repairs.
2 minutes in the budget skips penalty box for hooking.
CJ Mott will leave this one down, and Coventry can break out with David Broll coming straight back into action. Bludoff spins around Critchlow. Puck ahead of him. Halbert in the corner, as is Evan Bludoff. Looks like the Storm have been able to pick this puck up though, with Halbert and Critchlow tussling, two physical little players. CJ Mott went to play that puck, decided that, oh yeah, no, I got the The all new red lines, I need to abide by those. Puck dumped in by Ferrara to Halbert. Nice little pass, expecting the give and go. It occurs. Ferrara trying to spin away from Springer. Puck comes off the referee there, and that breaks up that dump that was intended in behind the net, and CJ Mott will come out to play it. Settles it, but had to let that one go as it got through him and into the corner. I like his idea, though.
Yeah, awkward there. He can play it in front of the red line, absolutely fine, but it's in those two boxes to the left and the right of his net that he can't play it. Only the centre of trapezoid behind where is he allowed to play it.
Yeah, the idea is to give more of a chance for an offensive situation to occur as that one's sent long, as Tyson Fawcett will put some pressure on David Clements.
Netminders who've played in North America will be used to it, though, because it's been in the AHL, ECHL for a little while, along with the NHL as well. They've kind of all followed suit. So this is the IIHF adopting that rule into their system.
Yep. And although I moan about the word, I'm kind of for it, I think, as Curran at the half wall, up to Venus. Down to the corner. Marsh had a lovely assist a moment ago on the Bluedorf goal. Here's Eichstad. Time ticking away in the power play. Venus will shoot off the glove of Downey, puck in front, and a second effort from Clements just comes off the frame of the net. That one sent long and picked up by Eichstad, who was looking to quickly play it. And the Manchester Storm are back to full strength as McNulty's hooking minor expires. And all in all, a good kill. The Blaze did a nice job of retaining zone pressure. They just couldn't get a goal out of it as Alex Forbes is stick handling forward. Forbes, flicks one off the skate of the netminder. It did pop out, and Hamannik was kind of 50-50 whether to go in and try and pick up a rebound there. Play will continue. Here's Ripley. Pulls up, gets bumped. Here's Forbes. Trying to keep it away from Sullivan. Critchlow throws a big hit. Hamannik shoots looking for the tip. Here's Gibson shooting short side off the stick of the netminder. Gulliver in there trying to make the physical play. The Manchester Storm will pull it free. Gulliver, Critchlow. Those two combining. But hacked away. Trying to see who that was. Austin Mitchell-King with a nice play in the defensive zone, Stu. He's had one in the offensive, and hey, all he's got to do is maybe win a neutral zone draw or something, and he'll have a hat trick.
Yeah, nice play there, just reaching out just to chop it out of the zone and clear it for the Blaze.
Yep. Puck along the penalty boxes, won by Coventry. Chance for Marsh, he'll shoot! Up top. Downey got a piece of it, didn't look comfortable making the save, but he did. And that's all that matters, is Morgan can't reel that puck back in. Hamannik try to play it through the feet of Lyndon Springer. Manchester come away with it. Morgan's going to step in. The pass never got through to him. Shot comes in from Brady, and a save from CJ Mott off the chest, and he'll hang on. Both teams are looking a little feisty here as well.
Yeah, they seem to have got a little bit more about them in this second period. Getting that first period shaking a little bit of rust off, learning a little bit about their line mates, so starting to generate maybe a little bit more quality offense on both sides.
Yeah, no, you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell, who's going to gel with who. You'll see the players around them on other lines, clicking and connecting, and then it'll be a case of, all right, do we need to shuffle something up here? But at the beginning, and with a really interrupted 1920 season, how much of it is rust? How much of it is this guy maybe doesn't quite fit on this line or whatever. I'm really intrigued by it. Honestly, I really am. It's just something that's unheard of. You look at an NHL lockdown, but that's only one league. This was pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere's had a little bit of disruption. Some teams managed to finish 1920 off, some teams didn't. Some teams played in 2021, some teams didn't. Players will have been around. There's a whole host of players on both teams who didn't get any hockey at all last year. So
absolutely.
It's a real mix of what's going on. But I think, even with all of that considered, the players will have been away from the ice for a few months.
Yeah.
So, regardless of whether they played in the Elite Series or played in the World Championships or played AHL, ECHL last year. So there's going to be a little bit of rust, as you would have in any preseason. So yeah, I think the thing for the Blaze as well to remember is that they haven't got the complete lineup yet as well. So there's still going to be another piece added in. As well as Joey Ratz and Ryan Penny not being in the lineup tonight. There's probably another player who still has yet to be signed. signed.
Yeah, for sure.
So the Blaze are probably, you know, another 3 imports to kind of slot in and rejig again. So I think we'll see a few things that might change. The one thing I think that we'll probably see is there will be a centre between Larkinen and Ferrara. That's probably the one of the big guarantees that we'll expect in the Blaze lineup.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, at the minute it's Matt Thompson who's taking that role. Hey, you know what? When Matt Thompson comes to referee a game, because there's an official Matt Thompson, that's going to get me all kinds of confused. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I tell you one thing that I think might go a little bit underrated here, Stu. Right, particularly at the beginning of the season, the first month or so, guys that didn't necessarily play in last year, 1920,
2021.
Yeah, 2021. Thank you, buddy. I'm rubbish with years. I've just got too many of them behind me. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the grind of playing professional hockey, right? I think it was Ryan Penny that was talking about this. You play an 82 regular season game in the East Coast, for example. You then get playoffs on top of that if you go that far. And then before that, you'll have played X amount of games in junior or X amount of games wherever you've been. To have a year off might not necessarily been a bad thing. You take Nate Halbert, for instance, played a few games in Laval, had a shoulder injury, I think it was, that he was nursing, took a bit of time away just to recover from that, and the season got cancelled.
I absolutely think that, and not just in the Elite League, but across sort of like, you know, the smaller leagues, if you're thinking maybe like DEL, DEL2, Switzerland, Sweden, etc., etc., you know, there are going to be players whose careers have been extended because they've been able to have a year off to recuperate.
Yeah.
You know, they've been able to take the time off, get themselves healthy again, and then maybe that's put an extra 2-3 seasons on. You know, Jani Larkinen, for example, you know, maybe he's clearly in the twilight of his career. Perhaps he wasn't thinking, you know, in 2022 I'm still going to be playing in the Coventry Blaze when he signed in 2019, but here he is. That's where he's going to be.
Absolutely, and Jani was a great case of it. He kind of was able to keep his hand in. He had some time in Austria. He had some time in Norway. I think both seasons got canned. I know the Norwegian League did, and that was where he was rested. Came to the UK playing a mini-series. Clearly wanted to be back in Coventry. Loves it here. But yeah, no, I think you're right. You know, the older you get, unfortunately, the more that starts to creak and go wrong on the old body there.
Yeah, I can speak from personal experience on that one.
Yeah. We were just talking about this earlier with one of our younger members of the media team, and we were trying to figure out what the difference between a boomer, a Gen Z, a millennial, and whatever the other ones are.
Yeah, we still didn't quite manage to work out who is what, but it's fair to say that there is a good spread of generations up here on the media gallery.
Yes, at Blaze TV Live, let us know how you're enjoying this game thus far, and a little break for some ice repairs, and we're back underway. Manchester win the offensive zone draw. One time from McNulty low, blocked off Ferrara's stick. Russell with a tussle in the corner with Brady. And the Blaze are able to get this one into the neutral zone. Jani Larkinen, Eichstad joined the rush, couldn't settle that puck down. Ferrara was able to track it. I think he was probably the only player on the ice surface that did. I saw Jani looking into block 2. I would say close but no cigar, but not really, as the Storm will bring it across the line. Hamilton drives off and breaks the stick of Russell. Plays at a bit of a disadvantage with the stickless Sam Russell, with the puck that side too. Behind the net. Brady. Wind up from Earhart, he shoots, comes off a body in front, and CJ Mott looked like he tracked it. You can never tell with some traffic, it never got through to him. Eichstad off the skate, ends up behind him. Manchester look like they've come out better after the short break for repairs. Eichstad trying to keep this one away from Dallas Earhart, and the shot goes wide. David Brawl's going to end up in the offensive zone with it. Spins away from Sullivan. Ulrich. Venus braces the boards. Comes to Curran. Gibson. Venus drops it off for Dane Gibson. Sends one through traffic. Oh, it got all the way through. Curran just couldn't put a piece on it and put it into the gaping net. Downey was sprawling across, though, as Ulrich tries to bring this one into the offensive zone. It's ping-ponging along the blue line. It comes in the corner off the forecheck from Tyson Fawcett, by the look of it. Pop back in the hands of the Blaze. Oh, and play for Gibson on a breakaway. Shoots, rebound off the great save from Downey. The puck is still there. He's sprawled. He's kept it out. Take a bow. James Downey.
Really good string of saves by James Downey there.
Puck comes up the other end of the ice, meanwhile, in live play. The Manchester Storm hold this one in the corner. real good work from Downey. And, Dane Gibson's a guy that, started his career as a forward, Stu, used to being on a breakaway more so than your average defenseman.
Yeah, he's got some experience, played quite a few years as a forward before switching to defenseman in college. And, he obviously has that skill set to be able to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, he was one of the top point scorers in the BCHL in his senior year. As that wraparound finds its way off the pads of CJ Mott, and Coventry are able to get this one north off a skate, so that'll wash out any icing. Wilson, D2D pass behind the net. Solder was able to eject that quickly because pressure was coming on the forecheck. Here's Halbert into the neutral zone. Forbes gets bumped by his opposite number, Wilson. Hamonic will step into Morgan. He keeps going. Good play from Mitchell King to stop progress. Springer steps into Forbes as they tussle for the puck. Bludoff, and there will be a whistle and a penalty. And that's going to be a high sticking minor, and Alex Forbes for the second time tonight is going to head to the box too.
Yeah, just catching the Manchester Storm with a bit of the follow through there, and one of those penalties. It's just unfortunate, no malice, nothing intentional, just part of the natural play.
7 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the second period. In a slightly unusual setup for the broadcast team this evening, we've got a large scoreboard right bang smack in front of us. We've got a stage that I don't think Westlife would be proud of, not quite that big, but
I think
maybe someone like Katie Tunstall, I don't know.
I think that Westlife would be worried about standing up and doing their key change from the stalls if it'd be a little bit wobbly.
I suggested it, but just got a silence and a glare.
Yeah, it's not the most sensible idea.
Hey, bud, what was the last sensible idea I had?
Yeah, I have to come back to you on that one.
Yeah. Faceoff's going to come to the right of CJ Mott. Referees, I think, are discussing the penalties on the clock. Please see the aforementioned scoreboard in front of us, Mr. Perring and Mr. Sewell, as that shot from the point's fanned on a broken stick from Earhart. Wants a fresh one, wants to get back into play. Meanwhile, the forwards will do a good job of keeping it alive until Earhart gets back into action, and as he does so, puck is cleared by Alec Marsh. There is Earhart on the backboards, trying to keep it away from Ferrara. It's so funny that, the leading goal scorer in the league last year ends up playing penalty kill as well. Puck ends up coming down the wing. Out, Brady was unable to bat that one out of the air. Here's McNulty. Morgan in front of Simmons. Drops it off. Chance here in front for Brady. Deeks, and there's going to be another penalty. Bludoff wrapped his stick up a little. McNulty to the top of the slot. Shoots off the arm of CJ Mott. Manchester piling on the pressure here. They're going to have some 5-on-3. A 6-on-4 at present. Puck flicked through to the blue line. It comes out, and Blaze will now touch that up. And Stu, have you got the penalty clock there in front of you?
I don't have
on the screen.
No, there's no penalty clock. So it's 6:29 left in the second period.
I tried to lean over the scoreboard here to try and figure it out, but I
think the answer is we'll find out in a bit. You mentioned it's interesting about Luke Ferrara and playing on the PK. That was where you kind of really first noticed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Champions Hockey League, playing on the penalty kill, getting that short-handed goal for Sheffield. It was then he's got some offensive talent. There's something there. There's promise, and it's developed into the top goal scorer that we now see.
Yeah, he's gone from strength to strength, right? And we were talking about this in the at the end of the first period about ice time for youngsters as Springer. Manchester set up in the zone on this 5-on-3. McNulty, chance for Fawcett. Oh, a nice toe save from CJ Mott. I don't think Fawcett got all of it. He was clearly trying to drag it in the direction that CJ Mott was vacating, but he couldn't put it into the vacating net, and the Blaze will stay 2-zip up.
CJ Mott realised that he was coming across and just left that right leg dangling out there to stop there, getting those pads out and cutting off where he kind of expected the shot to go. Even though he was coming across to cover that near side, he realised that far side was open and put the leg out to stop it.
Yeah, reads it well. Critchlow will spin away from Halbert. Some time left on this 5-on-3 then for Manchester. Great opportunity to eat into this Blaze lead. McNulty thinks about the one-timer. Good stick save from Mott. Manchester first to the loose puck with numbers. Marsh gets back into the triangle. Critchlow, top of the circle. Looks at it, shoots it. It comes off a body and behind the goal line. Halbert was trying to pick it up. Here's McNulty. Critchlow to the back door. Chance to see it comes off Hamannik. Alex Forbes returns to the action. Hamannik jams that puck free and is able to get some respite for the Blaze. Puck into the neutral zone. Johnny Curran able to put a fresh pair of skates out there. Into McNulty. Got to jam one short side. Halbert shut the door. Puck ends up round the perimeter. Manchester 5-on-4 on the power play then here for a little bit longer. Puck at the half wall. McNulty off the skate of Fawcett. Hash marks on the weak side. McNulty cranks a one-timer and CJ Mott able to bring that one in. And that looks like something they're going to try and utilize, the big shot of the big body of Mark McNulty from the point there.
It's certainly something they've gone to 2 or 3 times already on this power play set. The Manchester Storm have had. They found McNulty in the point and he's really hit the puck hard. He's been accurate as well. You know, CJ Mott's had to make a couple of big saves. Well, nice stick save as well, getting the paddle behind it. And it's always an effective tactic if you've got someone who can hit it with that amount of power at the back.
Yeah, and they've got 2 guys that I think they're going to try and run the power plays through. They've got Earhart on PP1 maybe, and then McNulty there on PP2. And you know, he was a player that was able to play last year in Ferrovari in the Erste Liga. Was it Arcadia in U Sports? As Brady will shoot one into the chest of CJ Mott and he'll hang on as time almost expired in the Evan Bludoff penalty.
But you see Earhart and McNulty offer 2 slightly different things as well. Earhart's got a decent shot and can get a bit of power behind it, but he's also got a bit of hands as well. We've seen him, particularly in the Elite League Series, he was able to sort of dangle his way in and score a good goal with the hands as well. So he's able to play the puck, distribute it, and it's a good option to have that variation in power play.
Yeah, he likes to kind of be a little bit more mobile and ends up behind the hash marks a lot. You know, we've seen a handful of shifts from McNulty, but I guess we'll get a good read on him as time progresses in this season. Maybe he's similar. He'll get a little bit more comfortable and flex his offensive muscles as David Brohl will backhand that one in. Ripley will chase, put some pressure on Hazeldine. So Manchester will bring this one away. Puck dropped off. Shot from a bad angle off the glove of CJ Mott by the looks of things, and the face off to his right. Although there's been a little change on the rules of that as well, Stu, hasn't there? The attacking team on an offensive zone draw in certain situations can choose which side the face-off comes from.
Yeah, they have the ability to now decide whether they want it from that left side or that right side. Maybe you realise that there's an advantage. You've got one player who's particularly hot on a wing, or you've got a good angle for a good shot from a defenseman who's got a cannon on a right D. You can set it up as you like.
Yeah, I mean, it can come down things to if you're a right shot, you want to be taking a face-off on the left wing ideally, and then you've got a strong shooter off your right shoulder there. Naturally you win the face-off on the backhand there at times. That puck ends up in the corner. Russell getting himself north of the hash marks up the other end of the ice. He'll have some cover back, and Manchester Storm will bring this puck north. Lutwich bumped into the boards gently. Blaze able to pick this up with Larkinen. Johnny Curran trying to get himself moving forward as well. Oh, here is Curran. He's going to have a chance here to shoot. Oh, he elected to try and feed it back to Yanni Larkinen. I think Johnny Curran probably, again, could have gone selfish there, shot, and given Downey something to do.
I don't think the pass was on there. Really did need to make the shot there. So, but it was a lovely bit of play to get him open in that space in the first place. Almost created a pick play with the 2 defensemen with each other. Yeah,
and he slotted into that line, Johnny Curran, as Matt Thompson was getting repairs. I saw him in the last break in play come back as Bludoff is going to come back up ice in the offensive zone and can't find Forbes. A hard pass from Evan Bludoff. Alex Forbes just not able to reach it as puck gets chipped up into the air, and the Blaze will get up ice here. Oh, a big hit comes in by the penalty box doors on Alex Forbes from Springer. He'll do that all day, every day, Lyndon Springer, as Critchlow gets shown the back of Halbert as he shields the puck away. Here's Hazeldine off the boards. Bludoff wins it. Couldn't get it around Hamilton. It's Manchester Storm breaking up ice. There's going to be a chance on the backhand here. CJ Mott gets the glove on it from McNulty. He ends up sprawled on the ice after a bit of a body check from David Clements. 2 minutes remaining in the period. Loose puck grabbed by the Manchester Storm. A shot comes in just wide of Mott. There's a sprawl. He'll sit on it, and a much-needed whistle.
A much-needed whistle. The Blaze getting a little bit broken up at the back end there, and they could do with a bit of a face-off there just to reset a little bit. Manchester applying some good amount of pressure there, getting some good looks on CJ Mott's net. They're just going a little bit wide there, but nonetheless applying some good offensive pressure. Yeah,
what are your thoughts on these two teams? Let us know at Blaze TV Live. Stu manning the old social media this evening. He changed the password on me during the summer. You thought I wouldn't notice, as that puck ends up behind the goal, and Blaze will try and stretch this pass out, looking for Ross Venus. Comes out in front. Stick check from Downey as Hazeldine had lost his stick. It was all a little bit pre-season for a second there. Storm stick handling through into the offensive zone. Clement stands his ground. Loose puck. David Broll drops that one off. Curran. Too far ahead of Venus. Shoots on the turnaround though. Somehow it got through to Downey. He got a stick on it, and the Manchester Storm are going to bring this up ice. Simmons loses it as he sprawls to the ice. Here come the Blaze with Thompson trying to step in behind Sullivan. Puck's still there. Dumped in by Russell. Matthew Thompson in behind the net. Spins away from the defenseman, jams it out short side. It comes through to Gibson. 1 minute remaining in the second period. Time flying when you're having fun, Stu, back here at the Skydome. We've missed it. An atmosphere in an empty Nottingham calling hockey games is not quite the same.
It's very, very different and very strange.
Here's Yanni Laakkonen behind the net. Oh, out to the slot. Backhanded away to Eichstad. Week one through. Downey with a rebound off his stick. Awkward shot from Eichstad. There's a Blaze player in need of repairs in behind the net again. Puck ends up with Yanni Laakkonen. Thompson for the second time as Eichstad cranks a one-timer. First game here on home ice. Matt Thompson's taken 2 sticks in the face for no dice on the old penalties there, Stu. You'll, I think, at least want something to show for it.
He didn't seem particularly happy with that last one.
Nope. Toe drag comes in. Chance shot into the glove of CJ Mott, and he will hang on. There's time very, very low in this second period. 6 seconds remaining. And the last thing you want to do, right, out of preseason, one of the big things is to come out healthy. You don't want anyone with any kind of injury, upper body, lower body, that's going to keep you out.
Performances are nice. You want to see chemistry being developed, but 100%, the first and foremost goal is to make sure that everybody gets a bit of fitness and comes out healthy.
Yep, absolutely. Face off to the right of CJ Mott. And that'll be not all she wrote in the second period. The less said about the broken clock, the better.
Yeah, the clock is not great at the moment. It's not a good situation, but it's workable right now.
Hey, so we've got a trapezoid. What do we call a premature buzzer?
I have no idea.
All right. I'll leave you to ponder on that one as the PhD.
Feel free to send your puns into @Blaze TV Live for anything that you might suggest.
Hey, clean ones might get read out on air as well.
Just to give you a bit of perspective, we are the only people in the arena who can't see the scoreboard.
Yep. And ironically, we have a great big one in the way.
Yeah.
Which we also can't see. Basil's going to come to the right of CJ Mott. I think they've decided there's going to be 3 seconds left to play in the period. Blaze will win the draw. And that will be all she wrote for reals this time in the middle period. The Coventry Blaze leading this game by a score of 2-0. A goal in that period from Evan Bludoff on a nice individual play from Alec Marsh to get behind the goal line and flick it out back door. And Alec Marsh, it's kind of weird, isn't it? I think a lot of people get hung up on looking at elite prospects for, what's a player going to bring. But, he's looked a really nice player, nice two-way game, a lot of energy in this Blaze lineup.
And that's when we spoke to him on the podcast, it's exactly what he said he would bring. He said he liked to play a 200-foot game. He liked to be involved at both ends of the ice. He felt that he could contribute as and where was needed. And that's, it's over the first 40 minutes that we've seen of him, it's exactly what he's done. He's slotted in nicely. And that was a really nice, clever pass there to open it up for Evan Bludoff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you think both teams are learning a lot from the game situation so far, even though we've only had 2 frames?
Yeah, I mean, they've probably learned a lot more in these 40 minutes than they have done from training over the past 2-3 days that they've been able. I mean, I don't know the case for Manchester. I assume it's probably very similar to the Blaze, that they are kind of just arrived into the country. Most of the Blaze guys got in over the weekend, had the first couple of sessions Monday, Tuesday. There was obviously the open training session here at the Skydome last night that was available for fans to come and see. But they're not going to know that much about them, and the only time that you really get to know your teammates properly is on the ice.
Yeah.
Getting to play in game situations. Even though it is a pre-season, you still get the power play, you still get the penalty kill, you still operate those lines and get those shifts going. So you see a little bit of what everyone's got to offer to the team.
Yeah. No. So for the visitors, Stu, who's stood out for you as being a particular one to keep an eye on?
I've liked the look of Liam Morgan. I think he's played well, quite offensively. I had a few good looks. And I have to say, I think the best player so far has actually been the goalie.
Yeah.
I think James Downey has had a really good game and has shown exactly why he's been signed. Because I think now, more than ever, it's been growing in the Elite League over the past few years, but there is an absolute essential need to have a real quality to back up now in this league.
Yeah.
The Blaze have got it. Jordan Headley is a quality backup in the Great Britain setup now. Showed in the Elite Series that he's absolutely worthy of getting starts during the season, and I hope that we see him. Maybe we'll see him in the next 20 minutes. Who knows?
Well, one of the things about Headley, and we talked about, was it Hazeldean that we thought was going to break through into the GB roster for this World Championships. Jordan Headley, with his great play in the mini-series, absolutely did.
Yeah, really did. From someone who was probably on the fringes, not really being mentioned about that third spot for the netminder, all of a sudden it seemed to be, after the performance in the Elite Series, it was a no-brainer. Jordan Headley was the third goalie and absolutely deserved. A couple of performances in those games against Nottingham and Manchester in particular were outstanding. Absolutely starting quality play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Downey's going to really put his hat in the ring in a similar way to Headley when he's come in relief of guys like Miroslav Kopshiver a couple of years ago, and Hackett was the other guy he came in and looked really good in relief for. And Matt Ginn, is the bona fide starting number 1 netminder. He's going to have to play a lot of hockey, so to have Downey being able to take the odd game here or there, it's going to be huge.
And goalies more so, they're rusty as well. They've had the time off. You're going to need to be able to ease them back into the season, much like everybody else. So you've got to have guys who are able to take a bit of the load more. And I really do think that we're backups this season in the Elite League. You're going to see them getting starts.
Yeah.
You're not just in a Challenge Cup game that might be a dead rubber.
Yeah.
Because of how the structure is. I think we'll see them. Maybe there's a back-to-back game and there's a little bit of a niggle. Throw the backup in.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think for the whole COVID situation that's affected the hockey business, for goalies it's going to be the hardest, right?
Yeah.
You're only going to get 2 gigs as a goalie, wherever you're going to go. If you come into the Elite League, likelihood is, unless you've signed for Cardiff, who've got 2 imports this year with Kozun and Cowrath, one of them is going to be a homegrown. So, to have CJ Mott play in the American League in the East Coast and Matt Ginn play with Kansas City, that goes a long way.
Yeah, it really goes a long way just to make sure that they're kept even remotely game sharp.
Yep. So, Stu, I think we'll take a little break here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so for the start of the third period in tonight's Elite League pre-season game between the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. Good evening and a warm welcome back to the Skydome Arena here in Coventry ahead of the third period in tonight's Elite League pre-season fixture between the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze and the Manchester Storm. 2-0 in favour of the home team. Leading out the pack is Jordan Headley, with the inference being that he's going to get the last 20 minutes of this hockey game, and James Downey, who's been very impressive tonight, leads out the Manchester Storm. Ed Kimberley and Stu Coles taking you through the final period of regulation time in this game between two teams that I think are going to probably turn into rivals this season. Stu, look very evenly matched, look like they play a similar style of hockey, and it's going to lead to some fun games.
I think it is, and I actually think the Elite League this season is going to be closer than ever. With the rosters being limited to 19 per team, you know, you're not going to get that differential where a team can roll 4 lines against a team that can roll 3 lines. So you are going to have closer games. Yes, some teams might have more depth and a couple of players sitting in the stands, but you know, when it comes down to game night, it's going to be 19 against 19, and that's going to provide closer games, and games like the one tonight between these two teams, I expect to be close.
What did you make of the transfer rules that they published not that long ago?
I think they're okay. I think they're reasonable because they're wanting to try and limit the number of players coming out. They've got to make sure that the league is financially stable in the long term, and that's partly where they're looking for, to ensure that all teams, given the restrictions in the ability to raise money over the last 18 months, can complete the season.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. No ticket sales, no hot dog sales going into the coffers. I think that's a very astute observation, Stu. As we're back underway here at the Skydome Arena, Jordan Headley sticking tight to that left post, and puck ends up in the net, in the netting of his net, and there'll be a whistle and a face-off to his left. Jani Laakkonen out there with Ferrara and Thompson still. Brady out there with Morgan and Hamilton for the Manchester Storm, as Hazeldine will pick that one back up in his own zone. Pass comes hard off the boards actually, and the Blaze are able to force the Manchester Storm to get that one up and out. Hamannik shielding Morgan away from the puck, takes a hit from Hamilton. Here's Sullivan. Puck doesn't clear the zone. Oh, it just came out as Thompson was trying to keep it alive. And well, if Matt Thompson had settled that, Stu, I think the Coventry Blaze would have had a scoring chance. Yeah,
would have been right in there. Great opportunity, probably at least 2-on-1 there, so would have been great.
Yep, Jani Laakkonen takes a little shove, and as a result, Critchlow and co able to keep the Blaze penned in. Here's Halbert. He's going to try and escape up centre ice. Ends up loose, and Springer can collect. Long stretch pass picked off nicely by Dylan Eichstad. Dumped in by Russell. In the feet of Sullivan. Venus on the forecheck. Springer. Poke checked by Curran. Here's Simmons. Over to the right-hand side. Eichstad trying to get back into position. Puck comes off Broll. Puck comes into the netting. And we have a stoppage with 18:23 remaining in the third period. I think I gave a clock check at 18:23 to go in the second period. How's that for weird?
That's a big coincidence. We'll have to get Pete to check that on the playback.
Dude, it's not that interesting.
Well, no. But
it's not like some obscure fact I pulled out about a player in under 15's year, right?
Keeps Pete interested for tomorrow at least.
You know what? With the scoreboard erection and stuff, I think we've had enough to worry Pete in the minutes leading up to this hockey game. Puck ends up in the offensive zone with Ulrich. Simmons. Ended up in the feet of Ross Venus. Comes back to Simmons. Gibson will get it around the back of Fawcett and shrug off that check that came in from Tyson Fawcett. That was kind of funny because, you know, Fawcett, for a smaller player, quite happy to throw the body around. You know, he's really not afraid of physical stuff. Gibson's a big guy. He just kind of left his arm out there to kind of just swat him away. He's had enough of having to absorb a body check into the boards.
Yeah, but, you know, Fawcett's going to do that every time. You know, he's going to come and he's going to try and finish his hits up against the boards and try and unsettle the defenseman and force them into making a mistake as part of his game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember remember reading about how he broke into the Ontario League from playing in the second tier, and it was just his unrelenting style of play and his speed for an undersized forward that coaches just couldn't ignore the kid, and he's a player that absolutely Ryan Finnerty and other teams can't ignore. A really big asset for the Storm as tries to win this puck on the half wall. Venus in there too. Ulrich and Brohl into the half wall. Gibson, he saw that one come in at the last second from Simmons and just about was able to spin off it. Puck in the feet of Dane Gibson. He had an interesting career, didn't he? Played a couple of years at Maine in the NCAA as that one shot through the crease. Ended up going to the University of Calgary in U Sports. Switched from a forward to a D, as we mentioned earlier in the program. Interesting to see how he adapts to pro hockey and indeed European hockey, Stu.
Not only that as well, it's quite difficult for the defensemen. Coventry here, we've got pretty small ice here in Coventry, but there are some big ice pads if you think around the league, Nottingham, Sheffield, etc.
Yeah, as Halbert's going to stick handle through, got to the top of the slot, but puck bobbled on him. Manchester, as a result, can gobble this one up and come up ice. Halbert back checks in a hurry. Danny Stewart will like that one as Evan Bludoff on that loose puck. Has support from Forbes. Shoots himself, redirected off the stick of the defenseman. Forbes shielding, tries to play it out in front. Russell, his eyes light up. He's going to shoot low. Then it came off Evan Bludoff as he was trying to provide an additional body in front. Detrimental to the effort of young Sam Russell. And the Blaze will change as the Manchester Storm are happy just to take it easy and break out. Had word as well, Stu, in the intermission that Matt Ginn and Wade McLeod are in the country. Just not in time for today's game, but the Manchester Storm fans will see them soon. Put back with Lyndon Springer. Long goal stretch pass that doesn't find anyone, and that will be icing. And the Coventry Blaze will get an offensive zone draw. And I'm just looking down to see if there's going to be a change. I think they're going to stick with what they got.
Yeah, I don't think that either team had a particularly long shift to date, so why not keep everybody out? It's kind of a hopeful pass from Lyndon Springer. If it had come off, it would have been really good. And it's worth trying these things in pre-season when you haven't got much on the line, just to see what sort of speed your new teammate has got, whether they can latch onto these sort of long passes, because it kind of opens up an extra avenue of offense for you.
Yeah, no, when they start to connect and work, you're going to back the defenseman off and, create a little bit more room coming up ice there as, if you decide to try and skate the puck. Blaze are going to bring this to the red line. Dumped in by Gibson. It got ahead of Larkinen. Blazer offside. Unfortunate. Here's Critchlow. The left shooter works his way in. Gets bumped at the top of the circle by Ferrara. Springer shooting through a crowd in the feet of Van Wormer. Unable to direct it goalward. Another player who was able to play a little bit of hockey in 2021 on the East Coast. And Blaze able to get this out of the zone just about. Thompson took a little bump from behind. A little gentle one. As Ferrara wins that puck on the forecheck. All alone as the Blaze are changing. Great work from the man who's wearing an associate captain letter on his jersey. The official Blaze captaincy group not been announced yet. There's Ulrich. Hazeldine dumps that one in. Bump comes in from Halbert. And Alex Forbes is going to skate this one away. I think we'll probably maybe have a quick look at the old social media in a minute, Stu, if anything's going on in the land of Twitter. Shot comes in from the point. Pad save from Jordan Headley. His first real save that he's had to make. A couple that have pinboard around at his feet on the wrong side of the post as Halbert in behind there. Tries to flick that one out in front. It does. He'll chase that one back in his own zone. Hammonick. Nice little give and go with Curran and Venus. David Brohl chips that one in. Curran gets a little swat at it, I think, and Downey able to hang on for a whistle.
Yeah, nice high-low tip there from Curran, getting something in. But Downey had all the sight of that. There was no screen. He could get a good view on it, and it wasn't the fastest travelling puck either, so he was able to react fairly well and make a reasonably routine save for to keep it out.
Yep. Face-off will come to the right of Downey. Shot through traffic from Hammonick, a low glove save from James Downey. I mean, we've said it a few times. He's pretty good in this game.
Yeah, he has looked pretty good in this game, and I think it'll be really good confidence for the Manchester Storm to know that they've got a capable backup in net. Yes, it is pre-season and everybody's getting warmed up, but you know, when the saves have been there to make, he's made them.
Yep. Hey Stu, a shot's a shot. You got to stop it, and that's the job as Hamonic and Hamilton battle for that puck. Sounds like a sequel of a musical, eh? Hamilton and Hamonic, as that one ends up coming up north. Marsh bobbled on him a little bit. Here's Russell off the backhand, little touch pass for Alec Marsh. Blew it off, trying to shield off Brady and McNulty. Shot wide of the target. And Hamilton back to the right side of defence. McNulty. Off the right wing come the Storm. Here's Thompson. A little backhand pass looking for Austin Mitchell-King. A little bit ahead of Austin. Made the most of the ice time that he's been given this evening for sure. And, you know, with the Blazer body short, if he's available to step in, he looks like he'll do a handsome job for the Coventry Blazers. One comes ahead of Gulliver. He's got some support from Van Wormer. Shot comes in, a hard shot from Gulliver right under the arm of Headley, but he's able to trap it into his waist. He'll hang on for a whistle, Stu, with 13 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the third period.
Gulliver there, former teammate of Alex Forbes actually in Ogden, and they spent a lot of time out there in the US. A team that also David Clements had played for back in his junior career as well. So a team with a lot of British connections.
Yep, and you know that's probably a byproduct of the reputation of the game in the UK and British kids coming through. You're going to see more and more guys get invited to go play high school in places or in other junior leagues, and naturally filter through to their home domestic league. As on bounces off Gibson, Eichstad off the boards. It'll end up round 4. Gulliver. Oh, he tried to pick out Critchlow. Came off a Blaze body. Earhard to the point. Hazeldine back to Earhard at the half wall. He shoots through a crowd off the pad. Gulliver had his stick lifted by Larkinen. There's a chance on the back door. Off the back of Headley, scrambling around. Puck comes out and they score. The Manchester Storm get on the board. They got the Blaze in all kinds of trouble. And finally, they're able to break the Blaze duck. I didn't see who got the final shot off there, Stu, but by the lead to the bench, Joe Hazeldine.
Yeah, it was Joe Hazeldine who got the final shot. Jordan Headley makes 2 really big saves. They're getting a pad out short side. We see it here again on the replay. Just sticks the leg out, but the puck then sort of springs out and comes back out to Hazeldine, who's got a big open shot. Headley's still prone. It's quite a good one. And Hazeldine there showing great composure. A couple of good pieces of interchange there with Dallas Earhart as well. Rotating around the defence, getting space on the ice. Looked really comfortable in that play.
Yeah, a 1-goal hockey game with half a period and a little bit of change to go. The Coventry Blaze will get that puck out of the air. Here's Curran. And the overlap is Halbert, and David Broll unable to pull the trigger on that shot. Broll with a hit on Springer behind the goal, and that gets a bit of a cheer from the Blaze fans and gives them a little bit of a pick-me-up on the bench too, probably, Stu, after conceding. Here's Simmons. Broll wins that puck. He's got Venus going high. Venus able to take it on the backhand along the boards, sends it through. Somehow that finds Curran to the back door, looking for Venus. Couldn't get the tip goalward. The Coventry Blaze nearly responded well with that Curran, Broll and Venus line. Well, it responded well. It nearly responded in the best way possible, I should say, Stu.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to do. You can see the goal and you want to come right back at it and take it down the other end. Likewise, though, for Manchester, now there's only that 1 goal. They want to push. They've got a little bit of momentum now on their side, and they'll be looking to try and tie it up.
Yep. Faceoff's going to come to the right-hand side of Jordan Headley here. That Blaze line has to stay out there on will look like an icing. Ross Venus will stand over this one with Brady. Another player, speaking of hockey being a small world, as a shot comes in, glove down, rebound out in front, and it's scrambled home! And the Manchester Storm in quick succession have tied this hockey game up. Tired legs playing a factor on that shift, Stu. And, well, we have a mini game here with 11:16 to go.
Yeah, it's all tied now. Puck scrambled there. Difficult to see. I think think it's Morgan who gets the final touch there as the puck sort of pings behind Headley, and as he's sort of half prone, tied up on the back there, Morgan gets the tap in behind the net.
Morgan in there, Brady in there, Hamilton lurking around as well. I was just about to say about Dylan Eichstad coming out of Bemidji, and that was
Second goal is still scored by number 8, Liam Morgan.
where the Giants had some players that played hockey.
Versus Hamilton.
Ends up behind the goal line. Bump comes in from Hamannik.
The goal scored at 48-43. Second goal for the
He's going to come away with it here. A large roar for Marsh on a 2-on-1, looking for the back door. Bludoff just couldn't tap it home. As Manchester Storm will hang on to it. Hamilton. Puck along the half wall, feathered out in front. Oh, it just bobbles wide of Jordan Headley's net. A little shake of the head from the netminder. Adam Brady, that was an alumni of Bemidji State, if you were wondering. His shoulder. Under some pressure from Austin Mitchell-King. Some more noise in the building here, Stuart. A little quiet of recent. There's Thompson. Try to feed it out in front for Gibson. Plays back in their own zone now with Clements. They'll try and get some shape, although Gulliver does the job, puts some pressure in Clements with a big hard hit. Headley will get a piece of it and he'll hang on as the Coventry Blaze look to scramble around a little there, Stu.
Indeed. You mentioned Brady as being an alumni of Bemidji State. He wasn't, I mean, not just an alumni, he was nearly a point a game for Bemidji in the NCAA. And that, I mean, NCAA is a tough league to score in. You don't see many players who get up to that sort of point a game level, but he was 34 in 37 games in that last season he had with them. And that's a real good haul there from in the top tier of college hockey there.
Yep, shot comes in hard off the face-off, stopped by Jordan Headley. Here's Yanni Larkinen at the halfway. He tried to just touch it down for Thompson. A little miscommunication there, and Manchester with Hazeldine can come back up ice. Thompson's going to, I think, draw a penalty here as he got a little hook in there on the hand. Eagle-eyed referee, and that will give Manchester Storm a power play. Hey, Stu, 3 unanswered in this period is on the cards here if the Manchester Storm can take advantage of the power play, and wow, wouldn't that be a good rally for them away from home?
Absolutely, sticking with the game, trying to keep themselves in it. Netminder plays well for 2 periods and keeps the game tight, and then you come out in the third and you run away with it. And 3 unanswered would be a tough pill to swallow for the Blaze, but the Manchester Storm have been good value. It's been a fairly even game, and I think the 2-2 is a good scoreline for both at the moment.
Yeah, as Morgan able to keep that one in off the offensive zone draw. Good stop from Headley with some traffic in front. Yeah, you talk about Brady playing in Bemidji. Played his pro hockey last year in Kansas City, where Matt Ginn spent a bit of time as well. And Jared Van Warmer. This is going to be a chance here for Morgan again. Shoots just wide of the target. Gets checked hard into the corner by Bludoff. Storm walking in here. Shot from Earhart off the iron, it looked like to me. The Storm really have the knives out. They're sharp and they're ready to try and pull ahead in this hockey game here on the man advantage. But currently along the perimeter, which is kind of where the Blaze want it. Earhart takes it away. Top of the circle. Nice feed for Hamilton. Nearly lost it. Retains it. Keeps it away from Venus. Here's Earhart again. So, cycled it across to the hash marks, and rebound comes off Headley that's dealt with, and the Blaze finally gets some respite with a clear. So Manchester Storm eating up this valuable practice on the power play, Stu.
Eating up valuable practice. It's been a good amount of time in the offensive zone, and that's what you want to see first and foremost from your power play. You want to see them getting pressure and causing the other team to be skating around.
Yep, Critchlow gets that one to Springer. He'll dump it in. Van Warmer. Puck comes around the boards. And Springer should get there to keep it alive. He does. Manchester have a little bit of time remaining in this Matt Thompson minor. Hard pass across to Jared Van Warmer. To the slot. Oh, a big tip in front from Tyson Fawcett. Out comes the glove of Jordan Headley. And the Blaze are able to get that puck out of the danger zone for now. McNulty with a give and go. Springer right at the perimeter. The Blaze might get a breakaway here if they can feed it through. Ferrara chasing it down. It ends up behind the goal line, but the Blaze are back to full strength. Larkinen has the puck. Gets it to the point. Gibson. Wrist shot just wide of Downey. And I heard a whistle, and I'm not entirely sure what force to. Offside?
I think the puck went out.
Oh, right on.
Just straight off the shot, so we'll have a face-off outside the zone.
Thank you. Eagle eyes. Eagle eyes there. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to blame the scoreboard being in the way.
Yeah, that's going to be the excuse for a little while, I'm sure.
Yep.
But one of the other eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed we had a power play clock on that last power play. It reappeared, so we've managed to get a spotter to do the clock for us.
Nice. Big hit comes in, and a shot stopped by Downey. Yanni Larkin had to take a bump to make a play there. Here is Yanni. Thompson to the point. Gibson shoots down low. Big pad save from Downey. I think Blaze did pretty well to bend and not break on that penalty kill, Stu. It has to be said. And pad to full strength can take a couple of shifts to try and leeway some momentum.
Yeah, they certainly have to do something in curbing the momentum of the Manchester Storm right now. It's firmly in their favour.
Yep, 7 minutes to play in regulation time. Here's Sam Russell trying to shield away Finley Ulrich. Nice little toe drag from Yanni Larkinen. Finds Gibson. Tries to pull the moves on Solder, who wisely gets that puck out of the hands of the Canadian. And Gibson able to keep it alive in the zone, though. Ferrara couldn't juggle it. Not a hobby he took up in the off-season, clearly, but David Brohl offside will force a whistle and a stoppage. Incidental, as he was just trying to keep that alive in the zone.
Yeah, just one of those unfortunate ones again, where it just doesn't work out quite as you'd have hoped.
No, it's been an interesting game. There's been some really nice, smooth passages of play. There's been some that are very pre-season and scrappy.
I think the game has been very characterised as being pre-season hockey. Like there, for example,
Yep.
the pass from Hamonic just doesn't quite get off. Puck's bubbling around a bit, doesn't quite get the whole stick on it, and just slowly drifts across the defensive zone.
Yep, and as on cue, a linesman stacks it as well, caught beautifully by the camera work of Dan. Faceoff's going to come, though, to the right by the looks of things of Jordan Headley.
I'd give Dan a high five, but I'm worried about the stage underneath us breaking.
I thought you were going to say the COVID there. We're wet wiped to the hilt, and we're all double jabbed, I think, here. So we're behaving ourselves. Puck in the corner. Venus gets ahead of Halbert. Brohl, no look touchdown for Curran. Sends ahead of Nate Halbert. He manages to shovel one, but I think it came off a leg. Appeals for a penalty go unanswered. And the Manchester Storm able to pick this one up and just get it out of danger as this Curran line with Brohl and Venus causing a few problems again here. Halbert seems really eager to jump up into the play, Stu. Kind of labelled as a defensive defenseman, but you got more than you bargained for there, it seems.
Certainly more than I was expecting. I was, expecting him to be very much that kind of solid stay-at-home guy, maybe in another mould of Justin Hamonic, and let the guys like Dylan Eichstad carry the puck, but it doesn't seem to be the case at all.
As Ulrich will shoot that one, Headley juggles it, but paddles it out of danger. Puck ends up in the neutral zone along the benches. Hazeldine in for Earhart, and I think that's a pretty sensible partnership. You put the captain with 6 years of experience in Manchester alongside the youngster, and seems to be coming to fruition as a backhand for Fawcett. It's fruit falling in the back of the net, and the Storm with 3 unanswered in this period have a lead. And that kind of came out of nothing, Stu. Fawcett on the backhand really just threw one to the net, but it came up trumps.
Sam Russell's done everything right as well there. He's forced him onto the backhand. He's trying to push him away from the net. The puck gets a little bit loose, and we just see again here, Tyson Fawcett just about manages to corral it and then just thinks, well, I'll just flick it there. And he just manages to find the gap between Jordan Headley's arm and the post, and it goes in the back of the net.
Yeah, big goal for the Manchester Storm. It really grew into this game. Face-off also won by Manchester. Earhart. Hazeldine. An assist to add to the goal that Joe Hazeldine has in this game as well, Stu, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, indeed. He picked up the first assist on that goal.
Maybe 2-on-1 for the Blaze. Alex Forbes shooting off the blocker. Big save from Downey. Coventry have done this a couple of times when they've conceded. They've gone up the other end and generated some, but James Downey's done a great job of shutting the door. Simmons, poke checked by Gibson. Marsh has got a bit of space to work with Larkin and Forbes in support on a change. Pass down in front, it comes off a body, but gets nowhere near the net. And the Coventry Blades come agonisingly close again to regaining a foothold in this game. Gulliver shoots on the turnaround wide of Jordan Headley. Chipped up and out by Ferrara. And the Storm settle down and break out. Big slap shot off the pads from the red line of Jordan Headley, and that all-important next save is a nice and easy one for Heads, as Blaze again looking for a penalty in the corner. No dice, as power play be great for them now. Larkin over to Thompson. He'll shoot off the tip of the glove and into the netting. Matt Thompson put all of his muscle behind that one, and Downey did what he's here to do, and the Manchester Storm still have their lead with 4 minutes just about to play.
Yeah, and it's a nice break as well from the Coventry Blaze, moving in transition well. Thompson springs out to the right, comes a little bit wide, but he's got a good angle on the shot, and like you say, just a little bit of what we thought was a little bit of equipment, but it looks like it's gone straight out. So
face off one in the neutral zone by the Blaze, however. Halbert's going to get this in. Morgan does a good job of just not giving him anything else, although into the netting from Springer, and that'll be a cheap power play for the Coventry Blaze. Soon as that left the lumber in you, but by then it's too late, and the Blaze have got a real big opportunity to get a point back here, or a goal back here in their home pre-season fixture.
Just a few minutes left. Thoughts on man of the match this evening?
Oh, Downey.
Downey for Manchester. Who for the Coventry Blaze?
That's a real good question. I think a lot of players have shown something. Nate Halbert's really impressed me. I think he moves up the ice nicely. Alec Marsh has had a good game, showing some of that energy in two-way. A lot of good performances out there.
Yeah, a lot of good performances indeed.
So you can give us a shout at Blaze TV Live who your thoughts for the man of the matches are. Here's Eichstad, or stick handled at a nice little poke check there from Brady. Here's Curran. Hard pass, just ahead of Alec Marsh, who does the old sprinters, drop your head as low as you can to try and come across the line first with a stick. Oh, as a hit comes in, looked a little high on Eichstad. Play will continue. That'll ring the old bell. Puck in the corner. Broll round for Curran. Leaves it for Eichstad. Leaves it across to the top of the circle. Venus through a crowd. Curran looks at the net, shoots off the cheater on the wraparound from Marsh, and the Manchester Storm clear. And then the Blaze can, at times really afford just to pull the trigger and be a little bit more clinical there, Stu. They pull the puck round to the weak side. Curran, he's a left shot. He's looking in.
Hit it first time, or at least gets at least go far pad. Create a lot of rebound. There were a lot of bodies out there.
He has a big sweeping pass from Halbert. Big chance in front from Jani Larkinen through a crowd. Couldn't get the final touch on it. Here's Ferrara into the feet of Jani Larkinen. Keeping them guessing. Ferrara all through to the weak side. Chance in front at the empty net. It's tapped in by Luke Ferrara. Nice play from the Blaze to work the Manchester box out of shape. And Luke Ferrara scored a whole host of goals like that last year. And he ties this game up with just a couple of play.
Yeah, Coventry Blaze working the power play well. It was a strength for them in 1920, and hopefully will be a strength again. Nice play though. They've moved the puck well. Ferrara's all the way over on the right wing. Everybody has to shift across, but nobody can quite keep track with Ferrara coming off the half boards. Comes back in. Downey's out of position because he's by necessity easy over there on that side, and Ferrara's got the easy shot.
Yeah, I was just trying to see who that was with the primary assist there. Was that Halbert that was stepping down?
I think it might have been Halbert.
We'll find out on the box score in just a second as Hamonic will dump that one in. I didn't check the rule box to see what happens if it's tied after 60 minutes today, Stu. Any ideas? No, me neither. That's cool. So we only have to worry about one of these pre-season games. After that, we've got a good idea. Ferrara will drop that one off. Gets in behind Thompson. That'll be a whistle.
Assist went to Matt Thompson.
Okay. That's okay. It was a nice play from the whole Blaze power play unit, able just to, like we said, move the box around, find some space for Ferrara kind of in the middle of the slot there, and he's not going to miss those.
It was a play that they used a lot, as you mentioned, and it works very well if you can stretch the box out, force them to all come over and rush across. Often you overcommit when you're making that sort of hasty rush across the ice, and it left Ferrara in a lot of open space.
Yeah, as the Manchester Storm will bring this across the ice. They've had a great third period, must be said. Can they get their lead back? Puck bobbling around in front. Morgan couldn't get his hands on it. Here's Ferrara. Chips that one in. Downey with a little low glove save. He'll keep this one alive. Solomon to his own blue line. Backhanded ahead of Brady. Curran gives him the stick lift. drifting down the left wing side. Comes out for Bludoff, he shoots, didn't get all of it. Downey makes a save. Wouldn't that have been a story? The Blaze get two unanswered of their own and able to get a lead back, as they led for most of this hockey game, Stu, well over 40 minutes.
Yeah. Whilst they led for well over 40 minutes, it was never a convincing lead. You always felt that the Manchester Storm were in it, and it was, it's really been a very even game. And at 3 apiece now, I think it's a fair reflection on the two sides tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They really have been very even. And I think it'd be, rewarding for both teams and both coaches in terms of the morale. All right, none of us got drubbed in this game. It was pretty even. We all show some goodness out there.
Both teams have shown a bit of resilience as well.
Yeah.
Manchester coming in from being 2 goals down in the third period, getting 3 unanswered. Blaze then having that bounce back to get the goal on the power play. So there's a lot of good things that show potential for the season coming ahead.
Yep, face off in the neutral zone. Thompson's going to stand over this with Ferrara and Larkinen to his right and left, respectively. Critchlow gives a little shove to Matt Thompson. They're arguing about their footwork, and we're not talking about the old waltz or the cha-cha.
Yeah. The referee's coming in and say, look, there's a minute and a bit to go in a pre-season game. Don't make us call a penalty.
Yep.
But we will.
Face-off warning to Critchlow, but he wins it anyway. That'll pump you up a little bit. Pump comes in on Cam Critchlow. Gulliver's going to step in. Oh, nice little last-second poke check. Came in from Matt Thompson, showing some defensive chops on the back check. And that's what you want from a centre, to be able to just get back into the defensive play as well as offensively. Simmons will dump that in. Time really a factor in this game with only 30 seconds remaining. Force it in the corner. Blaze able to squeak it out. Oh, they might have a chance here as Erhard lost track of it, but it's mopped up by Wilson. He's been so steady. Now he's showing some speed as well. The right shot, holding on to the puck. Halbert stamps him into the backboards. Force it. The Storm bench screaming for a shot, and it comes just wide of Headley. Oh, it sprung awkwardly. He was able to deal with it, and that'll be all she wrote in the third period. And we are going to have 5 minutes of OT, and then presumably a shootout will follow if no goal is in the allotted 5.
I'm assuming they are indeed going to follow what would not be the normal course of things. We haven't been briefed as to what was going on.
Hey, man.
Hey, we pitched up with an hour to go, and we were just happy that there's some hockey on the ice tonight.
Stu, I got to say, I'm just like you said, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Get a participation trophy. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, give me a badge for turning up. That's all. That's me happy.
Hey, I just want to say a quick word about overtime, though. If you're talking about a pre-season game, overtime, a little bit more ice.
Yeah, absolutely, and as well, 3-on-3 as well. It gives the opportunity for guys to really test their stamina at this point.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You get a little bit of extra cardio in there. And look, even at low level, playing like Sunday League Rec, you can train a couple times a week, once a week, but it's so different when you get into a game.
Yeah. You cannot replicate game situations in any way, shape, or form. Even tonight isn't quite a full-paced game.
Yeah. It's really interesting that, I mean, you're a big American football fan. The NFL teams carry practice squads. What's that kind of like? Is that a little bit closer to it? Because they're also vying for positions in the starting lineups, right?
Yeah, so they'll be kind of sort of doing reps in training. They'll be training with the team. They'll be taking on sort of like scout team duties where they have to replicate the other team that they're about to play in that week. But often, the training squad is quite interchangeable. You will see guys move up and down on a weekly basis with teams because injuries, because of form, lots of different things happening. So again, you get some kind of reps, but it doesn't replicate that game situation.
Yeah, a little bit different to what we have here in the HL. Matt Thompson, Yanni Larkinen, and what looks like Nate Halbert out there. We've got Hamilton, Erhard, and Brady out there for the Manchester Storm for this first 3-on-3. Do-si-do. Puck ends up coming back down, and Thompson can pick it up. He's been in the wars this evening, taking a couple of sticks up high. Keeps the puck in Blaze hands. Here's Halbert, who did get a little bit of ribbing for being born in Nottingham and coming to play for the Blaze. He enjoyed that though, all good fun. Here's Larkinen. He pulls up, drops a little cute pass down looking for Thompson, puts it into the hands of the Storm, however, and Hamilton gobbles that up, says thank you very much, as both teams will change a couple of bodies as Venus comes out for the Blaze, Fawcett and Hazeldine out there, and Simmons now for the Manchester Storm. Ferrara and Eichstad take their opportunity to get out for the Coventry Blaze. Fawcett will fake shot. Toe drag shoots off the skate of Dylan Eichstad. That ends up still in the hands of the Storm. Look at the half wall. Hazeldine. A little miscommunication with Tyson Fawcett, but Manchester in the grey jerseys will continue. Nothing grey and gloomy about their performance though. Simmons drops it down looking to the back door. It came off the leg of Fawcett. Loose puck out in front. The Blaze get it into the neutral zone. More by luck than judgment, I think, there, Stu, as Venus comes off the worst on that check. Manchester have numbers, 3-on-2. Simmons looks in to shoot himself. Big save from Headley, a second save from Jordan Headley. And that keeps this game well and truly alive as Coventry look to change. Ferrara taking his time, drops it off for Marsh. Alec Marsh has Eichstad. He'll be looking to get a change, as will Luke Ferrara, as Bludoff and Hamannik out there. Critchlow, Springer and Van Wormer for the Manchester Storm. Here's Hamannik. Finds Bludoff. Oh, racing to the net is Marsh. Oh, Bludoff just couldn't get it to him. He beat his man, Alec Marsh, and bumps Springer. Puck comes away. Van Wormer, 2-on-1 with Critchlow. He's got ahead of Bludoff. Big opportunity. How nice diving play from Hamannik. Wraparound chance in front. Big save from Jordan Headley. The one thing I didn't consider, Stu, about overtime for the commentating team, we haven't commentated in a while. The throats are getting a little sore. Here's Curran. It's bumped hard by Springer in the backboards. Downey. Oh, puck got away from him. I think he was looking to maybe try and freeze that. Here's Gibson. Trying to hold on to the puck. Dane Gibson shrugs off Hamilton. Has Hamilton all over him, and good play from both fellas. Here's Thompson. Turns in. Little shimmy shake. Takes the check. And a good play from the Manchester Storm. Physical, gritty defense on 3-on-3. Thompson gets back on side. Springer loses his footing but gets it up for Brady. On the forecheck is Gibson. And the Blaze will look to change here as the Manchester Storm wanted to get up ice in a hurry, but also some tired legs. Here is Brady shooting off the stick of Halbert into the netting, and we'll have a stoppage. I think that was off the stick of Halbert, I assume so.
It looked like it got some kind of deflection, and we'll expect the face-off to be in the defensive zone for the Coventry Blaze. Both teams showing some good 3-on-3 skills here. Fundamentally, you want to try and keep the puck. You want to make sure that you're rotating it round. You don't want to lose possession and cause the sort of 2-on-1. There's only really been one opportunity where the Blaze have lost that shape.
Yep, here's Fawcett, throws it through a crowd, and Ross Venus able to pick it up and draws a penalty as well. So the Coventry Blaze are going to get some power play time in this OT. A little 4-on-3. Here's Halbert. Drops it off looking for Yanni Larkin and didn't quite read that with 1.5 minutes remaining. With Venus, who drew the power play that's incoming, of course, unless the Blaze score, but the Storm touch it up. And, well, a bit of an interesting climax to this game here if the Blaze are able to convert.
If the Blaze are able to convert, a bit of 4-on-3 power play time, one of the rare situations that you see that kind of situation. But again, pre-season, it's great to get the practice in. You know, now seeing a situation that's going to be very rare in most games to get a 4-on-3 power play.
Faceoff's going to come to the left of James Downey. Hey, still my choice of man of the match, by the way. I think he's played a great game.
For Manchester, absolutely. I think there've been some good performances from a lot of players. You know, Morgan's played well. He's looked good. Fawcett's had a good game, but Downey's the guy who kept them in it for 2 periods.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, when you have a kid that comes into play, not only his first game for a club, his first game back in the country, but his first professional hockey game. He's done a stellar job, no matter what happens in the remainder of OT and a shootout. Here's Thompson driving in wide on Hamilton. Ferrara, Halbert gonna maybe shoot it here. Ferrara had the game tying goal. Has he got another one in him? Ferrara back down behind the goal line. But he's just trying to work the shape a little here. They won't probably have worked 4-on-3 all that much at all, but that one's broken up. Here's Critchlow, allowing the rest of his line to change. Critchlow, oh, he got in behind Halbert, puck in the feet of Headley. Got a bit of a bad angled shot off though, but great play from Critchlow. He'll get rewarded with a change of his own, with Brady coming to replace him. Ferrara up to Thompson. Ferrara chases it in. Blaze can try and get set up with a few seconds remaining. Here's Larkinen. Blaze fans calling for a shot. Ferrara will take it. Flash just wide of the target. Albert at the buzzer. Oh no. Wait. We've had some issues with the buzzer. But it didn't come, and our clocks got all confused.
Yeah, we thought it was about to run out. We have no idea. I'm going to try and peer down. How long's left, chaps?
We need like a rear view mirror.
It looks like 0 seconds. I think it has actually gone. It's just the buzzer hasn't finished.
Aha, I see. Well, that was an anticlimactic hit.
Game's over. Penalties then.
Yeah, penalty shots. All right. Well, Stu, look, it wouldn't be a warm-up game if we didn't explore all the options.
Yeah, why not? And again, situations that don't come around every week.
It's interesting that the Blaze didn't really have a lot of shootouts last season.
No, they were in tight games, but they were often 1 or 2 goal games either way, and the shootouts were a rarity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember if we had. I think maybe 2 at home. There was one definitely in Nottingham because Yanni scored the winner, and that was in the highlight package. I don't recall any other on the road either. They're fun though.
Yeah.
Dan's thinking about it. Cameraman Dan, he's a bit of a stat aficionado. Apparently, while there's been no hockey, he's taken up looking at Formula 1. Maybe we'll ask him about that another time. Not tonight, Dan. So first penalty shot looks like it's going to be taken by Liam Morgan, getting a little bit of advice maybe from the bench. He'll be contested by Jordan Headley.
The Storm is number 8, Liam Morgan.
This will be interesting. Morgan's a hot shot, shoots right, knows where the net is, as he proved so far this game.
Yeah. We'll have at least seen Headley around a bit from his time in Belfast as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Morgan in on Jordan Headley. Pulled a couple of fakes and got under it too much into the netting. We'll have of course we'll have a whistle.
I like Headley's approach there. He kind of stays still. He waits for Morgan to kind of move, doesn't really commit. Stays big to make sure that he fills the net and forces the miss.
Yep, Matthew Thompson for the Coventry Blaze then versus James Downey. He's made some big saves tonight, Downey, including a couple on Thompson. The right shooter comes in. Deekson, nice stick save by the netminder as he's looking to find some space low. No dice, and Dallas Earhart, the skipper, will take the next one for the Storm.
For the Storm, number 10, Dallas Earhart.
Having a little bit of a joke with the bench then. Maybe suggesting captain's privilege. The left shooter, the big body of Dallas Earhart, in on Headley. Fakes the shot and scores! Low block aside. Dallas Earhart really can rip him. He's got the tall frame, those long arms. Stu generates a lot of torque.
Yeah, really good release there, nice and quick. It's a good shot to get past Headley.
Luke Ferrara had the game-tying goal in regulation. Can he pick one up in the shootout? Let's see, the right shot. In on Downey, and a low glove save. And he throws the puck into the rafters. Manchester Storm very much have the advantage here with Tyson Fawcett stepping up.
Yeah, got the goal so far, looking good in this penalty shootout.
Yep, another right shooter in Tyson Fawcett. Has a lot of speed, a lot of offensive upside. As he picks it up at the blue line, little fake shot, oh, wonderful release. Up on the underside of the bar. We watch this again on the replay. Just look how quick he's able to snap this puck home.
Yeah, goes with the fake and then goes high. Really well placed as well. That's a lovely penalty shot.
Yeah, Johnny Curran will step up for the Blaze. Needs this to keep him in it. Another right shot. It's okay to be a lefty, folks. Curran in to keep it alive on the backhand. And that's all she wrote, I think.
No.
Oh.
5 penalties now.
Oh, of course, Adam Brady
with three penalties in, 2-0 to the Storm.
So Adam Brady has the big ticket item.
Yeah, so scores this, then it's done.
Maths has never been my strong point. The left shot. Brady. In on Headley. Off the blocker. That'll keep it alive. Bludoff needs to score. Thank you, Stu.
Back in the room.
It's been a while. And what can Evan Bludoff muster? Has a goal in reg. The left shot. And he comes on Downey. Low! Oh, he doesn't know where it is, but he's kept it out. That's the all-important thing. And that will be all she wrote.
Indeed, that really is it now. 4-3 to the Manchester Storm on penalties this evening.
Yeah, Manchester Storm taking the victory, and I mean, they'll give James Downey a bit of a mobbing down there. He seemed to really enjoy the shootout as well. Showed a little bit of flair on a couple of the saves there.
Yeah,
why not?
Why not? Absolutely. He managed to get himself involved in the game in all aspects and made some big stops. And why not feel good about yourself after that performance? So you did really well.
With 65 minutes plus however long shootout took, what have we learned from these two teams, you think, Stu?
Both teams are quick. They like to skate. They like to break on the transition. Both are fairly physical as well. Some big bodies in both lineups, and I think it's they're going to be close and evenly matched.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like really itching to see what other teams in the league have got to offer. The Blaze have got a double header against Guildford this weekend, which, no disrespect to Guildford, I kind of like to see Guildford and another, if you know what I mean, just so we can really whip around the league quick and see what we got.
Just want to see as many teams as possible just to kind of get a read on where everybody is, and fortunately the schedule allows us to do that over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, as long as you're not itching to see Glasgow, we're okay.
Yeah, that is a little bit more tricky, but the rest of them will be fine.
Sorry, Clan fans, love you really. I didn't get who the MVP for the Manchester Storm was.
It was James Downey, the netminder.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it was really. I mean, there were a couple of guys, like we said, that had good performances. He played superb, and salutes to the gaggle of Manchester Storm fans who travelled up down the M6, I should say.
I think maybe one of the most pleasing things for both coaches this evening is if you come over here, nobody's had a stinker.
No.
Nobody's come out and played badly. They've had some bad passes. They've had a string of bad shifts. Everyone's had a decent game. For pre-season standard, it's been all right.
Yep. The Coventry Blaze, their man of the match.
And that goes to number 74.
It's going to go to number 74, Nate Halbert. The sturdy defenseman came up trumps a couple of times to the Blaze, and I think the Blaze fans are really going to respond to how he's able to get up and down the ice and doesn't have any quit in him at all.
Yeah, really did well this evening. Played two-way game. I think he was unlucky not to get on the scoreboard. Probably merited an assist on the power play potentially. So certainly contributed at both ends of the ice and deserved his man of the match this evening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Stu, as the Blaze players take their little lap of honour, it's been great to be back at the Skydome Marina. It's great to be seeing the boys in blue take to the ice for the first time this year. And Stu, it's been great to see you too.
It's been lovely to see you. It's been great to be back in the Skydome in a slightly different position, but nonetheless, here we are commentating on games, and it's been lovely to have Blaze TV Live back again.
Yeah, it's been great to have you guys and girls watching at home. We're going to be back on Sunday on Blaze TV as the Blaze take on the Guildford Flames. Until then, we're going to rest the voices. We're going to go back to the day jobs and be very impatient for the weekends to come. So from Ed Kimberley, Stu Coles, and all at Blaze TV, a very good night.